I was just gonna make it so it sort of faces the witness better.
Great. Thank you. You look great. All right. Okay. Everyone is back. Ms. Yarber, ready for the jury?
Yes, Judge.
Anything we need to talk about?
No.
Mr. Polanco, ready for the jury? Yes. All right. Oh, did you just break it? Okay. Let's bring him in, please.
All right, the jurors. I'll do the president of the court.
Thank you, Deputy Gordon. Everyone else, please be seated. Mr. Piner, if you'll come back to the witness stand again. Welcome back from lunch. Anyone go to American Deli? Mr. Piner did. All right.
I'm still alive.
Yep. It's only been 38 minutes. Did people try the new restaurants up? Anyone try the restaurants up Mitchell Street? Thai place? Anyone go to Bottle Rocket? That's the one I haven't been to yet. No? Okay. Barbecue? Mexican? Tesoro? Yes? Okay. Glide Pizza? Some of you just sat in the jury room the whole time. Okay. All right. We are resuming part 3 of the cross-examination of Mr. Piner. Mr. Polanco told us before the break he was getting close to wrapping up. We'll see where that goes. Mr. Polanco, your witness again.
Thank you. If I may approach. Mr. Piner, I'm going to give you 3 documents this time. Yeah, just keep these separate and then another round and then we'll be back.
And what numbers are
These
these?
are 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
So this is just about finances. These are text messages that you also sent to your spouse. Number, 17, 18, 19. 19 is the taxes. I don't know if you have 19. That's your taxes filed in 2024. I got those from your attorney. Approximately 107,000 declared that year.
So none of those is in yet, so don't ask about content yet. Ms. Yarber, do you have any objection to the admission of 17, 18, and 19?
No objection at 19. I believe he needs to lay the foundation for the rest of
Okay.
them.
So if you want to talk about 19, it's in, but 18 and 17, you have to do some foundational work.
So 19 is the 2024 taxes. You declared 107,000 around thereabouts.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done. We're done with 19. Just wanted to talk about 17, 18. As far as like how we spend that money, right? So we talked a little bit about budgeting earlier, and you gave me the numbers as to rent, food, car for the month. So along those similar lines, like you testified that you spent those amounts of money, but in these 2 screenshots, if these are text messages that you also sent to your husband, there are certain numbers. You recognize what those numbers were discussing? What you were discussing when you sent those text screenshots?
Without the additional context of the conversation, I don't remember what the specific conversation was in reference to.
Okay,
On 17 and then 18, again, I don't have the context to know what we were talking about in reference to
Okay.
any of this.
all right. Okay, all right, I'll take those back later. I'll just move on to the other two, which are 16 and 20. These are just regular communications as earlier, if I can approach.
You may.
Just regular text messages. Just familiarize yourself a little bit with their,
Just set these two aside for now.
I'll take them
yeah, those two,
if they,
so we don't forget.
okay,
16 and 20, I said.
you did.
Is there a question to these or?
Yeah, so having familiarized yourself with the documents, are those an accurate representation of the conversations that you were having in April and June of 2025, right before the TPO in July?
Again, we had so many arguments. I don't specifically remember the argument, but they're consistent with arguments that we had.
Judge with that?
So these are exchanges that you had with Mr. Terry. You're not remembering the specifics because you two were communicating all the time, but you're not suggesting, oh, those weren't my words, those weren't his
Yeah, I'm
words.
not suggesting that I didn't say this. I'm saying that I also don't remember the specifics.
Okay, I'll admit 16 and 20.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor, and I'll be brief on this. So, Mr. Terry, at the top of page 82, 83,
Page 82.
one with the big lighter at the top. Well, I'm showing it on the on the TV as well. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so this is a conversation back in April, which would be 3 months before the call to the TPO incident. Okay. And in this, so these are your words. Did you just take another $20, Chris? Hello? Did you just take $20, more dollars from that account? And then there's just a lot of sort of ranting about that. Put the money back. Does this ring a bell in terms of what we were discussing? I mean, was it a Bic lighter that we were fighting over? Or was it the $20? Do you recall what the specific altercation may have been about?
I don't remember what this specific altercation was, but it's consistent in which there was an agreement that we weren't going to spend money in certain ways, and then the money was spent in ways that weren't agreed upon.
Okay. So you're trying to account for these $20, the $50,
And then it's like 70, yeah.
well, 20 plus 50. So it's two different transactions, it looks like. And you say that you closed the app that I guess the spending was coming out of, is that right? Or how did Chris normally spend $20 and $50?
I don't know in reference to what I have closed the app and reopened 0 times. I think that means a refresh to see if the money had come back yet. And then to your second question in regards to how did Chris spend the money, as I have previously testified, he would often take the cards, whether I was asleep, whether I was awake, whether I said you can have my cards or not have my cards, and he'd do as he pleased with them.
Okay. Well, okay, so this incident with the $50 and the $20 is is in April, but in June, there is another exchange. This one is not necessarily about the material world, but perhaps more the spiritual world, in which I believe you begin by quoting, excuse me, Galatians. And there's some discussion about some biblical phrasing, wording and verses. And did you have an opportunity to read this?
I've read a lot of it, yeah.
Okay, okay. All right.
The same stuff, though. Oh, was this the Goodwill Day?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I know about Goodwill Day.
Okay, tell me about Goodwill Day.
Okay, so Chris was like at Goodwill and he wanted to buy something that wasn't food, but he was asking for food money. And I was like, we got food at home. You can eat something at home, but like we need to stop spending the money because, you know, I transitioned jobs, and when you transition a job, your 401k goes into like an IRA and stuff. And so we were having to take away money from that IRA to pay for our living expenses. And he was at Goodwill, and I was trying to set the boundary with him of like, no, we don't need to keep spending money just because we constantly, every single time you have a reason to buy something, you say it's for this, and it's never for this, it's for that. And then he wanted money for Goodwill, and then I remember I went to bed. I went to sleep instead of sending him any of the money or putting the money anywhere. And I told him, please do not spend any money at Goodwill. My understanding is he was able to obtain the items he was wanting to purchase from Goodwill for free. And then this was like a very big trigger after that about things. Yeah, Goodwill Day.
Okay, so this is one of the last conversations that you have with him. And it happens a month before less than a month after you asked for the TPO, the
Yeah.
whole incident that we started this morning with. So at this point, I mean, unless I'm just reading this wrong, and we'll read this together very, very cursorily because it's kind of long, but you know, it sounds like you're breaking up basically on religious grounds. Is that a fair?
I mean,
General characterization?
I mean, I tried every conversation route to have him break up with me, and this is just one of many different routes. I mean, previously we looked at the Satan route, right? So here's yet another route that I'm trying to take to appeal to his sense of religion that maybe we should break up. So yeah, I would say this is you can't consistently try to break up with someone in the same exact way every single time because, you know, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and it doesn't work. You got to try some different things. So yeah, this is definitely one of the very many times I tried to break up with Chris.
Well,
Can you go back to, I don't know if it's
Beginning.
forward or back, just something about living in sin and this and that. To what were you referring?
Which part of this were you talking about?
Well,
that's the theme of the entire 13 pages.
so was my question though, not yours. So if you'll scroll a little bit more,
This is the top.
so other direction then.
Let me zoom out.
No, it's good. Just scroll down a little more because I think now it's small again.
It repeats multiple times, yeah.
Okay.
There's different ways of
Here,
saying
stop.
phrasing.
Nope, keep going. But now I hadn't seen that one, so
Oh,
that's,
7/18/2025 was after the TPO was issued.
that's okay. I just want to ask my question, please. Scroll a little more. Okay, stop. So you're talking about the sin of an unhealthy home, an identity built on sin. That's not going to bring you happiness. And then your identity in Christ and not sin. What is the sin that you're referring to in those texts, or that you meant to be signaling to Mr. Terry?
That was in reference to the gay conversion thing that he had done with the Sozo Healing Center. And so it was sort of playing onto like an argument that he had previously made with me. And I wasn't in a very good mood. So I was arguing that same argument back with him.
Okay, and this Sozo is not your dog.
No.
There was a healing center called Sozo.
Yeah, it's some I don't know what church it belongs to, but I just know it's down south.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Polanco, back to you.
Thank you. All right, so when you're referring at the very end, for example, that your husband's love is idolatry and sin, and that is breaking your identity with Christ, you're referring to a dog conversion therapy that was unsuccessful?
A gay conversion therapy paperwork that he had shown me, it had our dog's name on it. So when I picked it up and read it, it was about him breaking his identity in Christ. He cut the threads that he was this and that, another. And so this was a play on that.
Okay.
It was me effectively reversing back the things that he'd said previously to me, to him, after he had asked for money or whatever. And it was just like, I'm getting kind of done with things and being kind of, a little bit testy with him about it.
So, okay, so when you make statements like sinful love does not bear good fruit, this relationship is proof of that, have a wonderful day, you're basically trying to boomerang back the sarcastic statements, I guess,
Yeah.
that he had made in an even more sarcastic way back to him.
Right. It's
Got
a
it.
sarcastic response.
Got it. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, so just a few final questions, and I appreciate your patience throughout this morning. So we talked about the two cars, the dog, and I had also mentioned personal property. I believe you had mentioned that maybe it was in a storage. So when you put the respondent's belongings, personal property, in the biohazard and the storage, and it was all taken out of the apartment, where did it go?
So anything that had been soiled with urine or anything that wasn't recoverable or was just, it was just like a white Hanes t-shirt, for instance, that went with the biohazard company to the dump, or we had to throw it away in some capacity. Anything that seemed to have value, like fur coats, jackets, jeans, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff, shoes. It either went, if it was something soft, it went into a contractor bag. If it was something more hard, or if it's like his mementos from his family or whatnot, it either went in boxes or tubs.
Okay, where are they being stored today?
They're down at that extra space storage center in that 10 by 10 that's mentioned in the DERFA.
All right. And I guess, who are you proposing that property be returned to, or
Him.
him? Okay, he gets to keep that property.
Him meaning Mr. Terry.
Mr. Terry, yes.
Okay. A couple of last questions. First of all, when you got married in December 25th, was it December 25th? Was it Christmas proper?
I don't know if we signed the papers on Christmas proper. I know that's what the date the paper said,
Okay.
but it was sometime around there.
All right, but was that the day the wedding ceremony maybe have been done?
There wasn't a wedding ceremony.
Okay. All right. So do you know the date of the marriage?
It was sometime around late December.
Okay. Late December of 2018, who proposed to whom first?
There was no proposal.
Okay, and you were not engaged. You testified to that yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did we end up married?
It was an agreement with him because again, he wanted to have the benefits. His disability was up again. He didn't want to be on disability. This was a path for him to get his own freedom and financial independence and all of that himself through us getting married, right? And then he could get the benefits.
Okay.
That was essentially what the marriage was about.
Okay, and when you sued for divorce, why did you sue on the ground that the marriage was irretrievably broken, as opposed to another ground? Maybe he was adulterous to you, he was cruel to you. I mean, you described a lot of things that could be fairly characterized as either adulterous or cruel.
Those are all, in my understanding, very expensive things to file on. Because you have to bring in like expert witnesses, you've got to get evidence, y'all have to do the things y'all are doing with the foundation and all of that stuff. But my understanding that in Georgia, a no-fault divorce allows you to divorce someone without having to go through all of that expense and effort.
Okay, all right. And so when you asked for a divorce in August of 2025, your husband was in jail, correct?
August of 25, I filed in September 25, right?
Okay. Or September 25.
Okay, yes, he was,
Well,
September 10th was when it was.
difference between filing and serving, but yes,
Yeah,
around that period.
Yeah, because he was served like, a couple of days after I filed September 10th. What was the question again?
Was he in jail
Yes,
during
he
that
was in
time?
jail.
Was he served papers in jail?
The sheriff, yes, had certificate of service, yes.
Okay, and was your proposal that each side basically keep their own thing? You keep the dog,
Yes.
he keeps the jackets and the pants and the personal property from the storage?
I can't wear them, so yes, sir.
Yeah. The Prius would stay with you.
Yes.
The Nissan, though, what happened to the Nissan?
So we've talked about it's gone total. Then it was $3,000 and so we're done with the Nissan.
Okay. Okay. One of the things that you said yesterday was that it was always smart to move my money. And you were specifically talking about responding to questions from your attorney about the bank accounts and the retirement funds. And you said, to my knowledge, I have not hidden anything. But my question is, prior to you filing for divorce, whether it be 6 months or a year prior, did you close any retirement accounts or any banking accounts? I don't mean close them literally, but did you draw down on those accounts?
The IRA was drawn down on for household expenses and like things like he got a lot of dental work done that was really expensive. So that was where those IRA drawdowns were from.
And which IRA specifically was that one? How many of them are there?
There's one IRA with Merrill Lynch, and that was the rollover from the Fiserv 401k.
So that was a rollover from a Fiserv IRA that you had?
Fiserv
401k?
401k. So when switched.
So you switched from a 401k to an IRA?
Yeah.
And how much more or less was that rollover?
20,000.
When was it, more or less?
Whenever that job change happened, so I'd say spring of that year.
You said you started as a consultant in like early 25?
Yeah, so spring of 25.
Okay. All right. And, all right. Okay. Now, okay, one last question. And this is just purely a personal question, but is this trial being televised on YouTube to your knowledge? Or in like any channels?
Objection relevance.
What's the relevance of that?
Well, it's just come to my attention that I think that we're being broadcast.
All proceedings in my courtroom since COVID are live streamed.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with Mr. Piner.
Okay. All right. All right. No, that's the only question.
Okay. You cannot? Do you have any redirect?
No redirect, Judge.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've been patiently listening to questioning from Ms. Yarber and then Mr. Polanco. You may have questions of your own. If you do, write them down on note cards and send those note cards to Deputy Gordon, please. Write on only one side of the note card. You can write more than one question per note card, but there's no limit and you don't need to put your name or juror number on it. Just write legibly, please. Yeah, I'll start, please. Thanks. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, more. All right, doors are closed. If you would just be at ease for a moment, I need to let the lawyers review these with me. So we're going to step out in the hallway, Mr. Polanco and Ms. Yarber, and go over these, and I'll be right back, Minor, so you stay right there.
both got a chance to follow up, so I've done it. On this board, and it's not good times. It opened, it's supposed to open.
Mr. Finer, tell the jurors why you agreed to marry Mr. Terry. They have heard about all degrees of unpleasantness, some of which predated the marriage, some of which postdated it, but plenty of it happened before then. And so, question is, why did you agree to marry?
I would say part of it comes down to a misunderstanding about what marriage entails. Like I said in my testimony, it's quite easy to marry someone. It's a lot harder to divorce them. But two, to my testimony, it was so that he would receive benefits and get a job. In my mind, that was a way for us to break up. And so part of that agreement was marriage.
Did you get medical benefits through your job?
Yes.
And by marrying Mr. Terry, were you then enabling Mr. Terry to get the same medical benefits?
Yes.
Would you describe the marriage as something that occurred against your will?
I would feel that the marriage was not consentful in the idea that I would want to marry someone in that traditional sense of, you know, you have a wedding and proposal and it's a romantic thing. It was purely out of convenience and as a way to sate him and keep the peace of the house.
You mentioned Adderall and marijuana as drugs, whether prescription or otherwise, that you know that Mr. Terry took in your presence. Were there other controlled substances that he took in your presence?
Yes.
What would those be?
MDMA and cocaine.
Was the marriage in the wedding, whatever we want to call it, in the apartment or at the North Annex? Because we've heard both locations.
So we did the thing where you sign it at the North Annex and then you're supposed to hold a ceremony. We signed the paperwork with Mike, the officiant in the apartment, and then mailed it in.
Okay. You in answering why you married Mr. Terry, you said things so platonic, it was out of convenience. But the jurors have seen texts in which Mr. Terry says, "I love you," where you say things like, "You're not my type," or "We've got this relationship." Can you reconcile, it was platonic, it wasn't really a relationship, with you wanted out of the relationship? Because it seems like there was a relationship. You know,
Yeah.
understand what I'm asking?
I think a situationship would be a much better word. He had a thing about the word love and that we should love one another. And then one of the things was he couldn't leave the room unless I said, "I love you" back to him. Whether or not I meant it or not, I still had to say, "I love you" to him. But it was more of a situationship in my mind.
Okay. Do you recall the amount of bond money that Mr. Terry needed to pay to get out on bond for the aggravated stalking charges?
Ooh, I think $14,000.
Did you play any role in paying any of that money?
No.
The apartment where we had the photos, when Ms. Yarborough was asking you questions and you were saying, "Here's where he would sleep and here was this and that," you know, the one I'm talking about. How long did you and Mr. Terry live in that apartment?
From 2016 until 2025.
So 9 years-ish.
9 years.
How often would Mr. Terry clean that apartment?
infrequently, so by definition of cleaning, if we're talking about picking up like cans, like soda cans and stuff, every couple of days, you might pick up soda cans. A thorough cleaning, vacuuming might not occur for months.
And why would that have been Mr. Terry's job instead of yours?
He had a lot of stuff in the home that he didn't want touched or sorted through. And so he didn't feel comfortable with me going through those piles of clothes. And so a lot of times it was just, he was the one that needed to handle that area of the home, and I wasn't necessarily needing to do it. I tried to vacuum as much as I could when it became feasible, but at a certain point, the carpet became kind of tarry from like dirt and other things, and the vacuum really wasn't working on it.
What about the kitchen? Because you spent some time talking with the jury about, I couldn't cook in my own house because Mr. Terry didn't clean the kitchen. Any reason why you didn't clear off the stove so you could cook for you?
That's an excellent question. If I would go and clear the stove off, it would immediately become in that same state within a few days. So it felt very tiresome for me to try to go and keep cleaning something that was just going to get back in that situation. And then after you let it go for a while, it's sort of in a situation where you're just, it's going to take forever to clean it, and then it's going to start building back up. So you're dealing with entropy.
Did Mr. Terry ever share with you why he was receiving SSDI?
We don't think he or I knew, like, it was never a conversation about what the disability was for. So I don't know what the benefit was given to him for.
Okay. You described several times Mr. Terry pouring trash on you. Tell the jurors what you mean by saying that.
So where I sat, there was a microphone stand, and then that microphone stand was my trash bag. So I tried to keep my area clean, and I'd put trash in my trash bag that was right beside where I sit. The biohazard people called it a hoarder's cockpit sort of situation. There were several hoarders cockpit, their language, not mine. And so I would have this trash bag beside me, and I'd be on my computer and I'd eat, because we ate a lot of takeout food and stuff. And when I was done eating, I'd put it in that trash bag. And then if we got into an argument and he decided he was going to pour trash on me, that trash bag was sitting there. It wasn't in like a trash can or anything. It was just hanging off of a microphone stand. And so he would pick that up and then like dump it on top of me.
Mr. Polanco asked you a number of questions about why the application you prepared for the TPO didn't list all the acts of violence that had supposedly been perpetrated against you, but that's not my question. The question is, understanding why you wouldn't necessarily fit everything in the little box, was there a reason why, when you were responding to Ms. Yarber's questions about the things that happened to you at Mr. Terry's hands, you didn't include some of what could be described as more extreme acts of violence, like throwing the dog at you? That came out only when Mr. Polanco was asking and not when Ms. Yarber was asking?
That's an excellent question. The TPO was based off of what I had evidence for that day, but there were so many acts of violence that occurred that for me, it's difficult for me to recollect every single act of violence that occurred coherently all together in once. So the dog being thrown at me is a very traumatic thing to remember. And it's just something that I probably just didn't remember to bring up. There was probably other things that I didn't remember to bring up as well.
Can you tell the jurors why, if things got as bad as you've described, you didn't simply walk away? I appreciate you've got financial connections to the apartment, but when it comes to safety and health and well-being, why not just walk away? Goodbye, Mr. Terry. Goodbye, apartment. I'm going to find a safe place away from you.
I considered living in my car until I could earn up enough money through my job to move out on my own and just abandoning everything and leaving. But the financial commitment of the apartment, as you mentioned, was a concern. And I was also afraid of just being homeless in my car for a while. I didn't know if I was going to be able to maintain my employment. I didn't know if I was going to be able to survive. And that played a lot into it. I was very fearful of that situation, although I did think a lot about just getting in my car and driving off.
Thank you. Ms. Yarber, do you have any follow-up with Mr. Piner based on those questions?
No, Judge.
Mr. Polanco?
No, Judge.
All right, Mr. Piner, now you may step down. Thank you. Ms. Yarber, do you have any other witnesses you want to call?
Not outside of, just cross of the opposing party, but
Okay,
that can follow.
so you've admitted through Mr. Piner, you may have exhibits you're going to admit through Mr.
Right.
Terry, but there are no other exhibits you'd be admitting outside of your examination of Mr. Terry.
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Polanco, you are up.
Okay.
You want to call your first witness?
Sure. Yes, so the defense would call, Christopher Ian Terry.
All right, Mr. Terry, if you come on up, Deputy Gordon is going to swear you in.
Raise me right here. You swear affirm that the testimony you will give to the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Go ahead, I see. And you spell your name for the record.
Say that again?
State and spell your name for the record.
Yes, it's Christopher Ian Terry, and it's Kristaferean, and then TER.
Mr. Terry, if you would scooch the chair forward, it doesn't have wheels, so it's hard to do, but you are soft-spoken, so I need to be a little closer to the microphone while you're talking. Okay, thank you.
About that, does that sound a little bit better?
It sounds better. I'll let you know if it needs to be closer.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Terry. I will try to be efficient with the use of our time this afternoon. So first of all, what year were you born in?
1994,
All right, how old are you now?
32.
How old were you when you met your husband, David Piner?
I was 15 when I met him online, and I was 16 when I met him in real life.
What website did you meet on?
Second Life.
Okay, was that a popular game at the time?
Yeah, like it was actually, it was something that I had a lot of fun playing on, and I
Okay,
the awesome game. A lot of people played it, and I enjoyed playing it too.
okay. And how would you describe the nature of the first interactions, I guess?
So I remember I was playing with this girl. She was called Filippini Meanie, and I was having a good old time with her. And she was friends with this person called Nux Spiker, I believe. And when I was playing with them, all of a sudden it was like a teleported, basically. I got teleported over to this big giant airport like thing. And there was a lot of people that were very upset. And they had talked about how somebody was like messing Nux Spiker up, or Nux Spiker was like a person that made like clothing in the game. And they had kept talking about it. And at that point I was like, who's doing this? Like who's making all these people so bothered or feeling like they're so offended? And I just didn't like it. And so I was thinking in my head, kind of as a goofball, I was thinking in my head, like, well, I'm going to figure out who did this? Who in the world is this? And I wound up, they all thought it was this person called Narcissus Mint, is what the person was. And so I started talking to him, and I went through this long diatribe where finally Narcissus Mint introduced me to David. And when he introduced me, he was like, you've earned the right to speak to David. He's this amazing guy. And I was pretty surprised, because I was like, well, yeah, well, you made such a big stir. Like, everybody that I know can't stop talking about what happened to Nux Spiker. And when I talked to David, he was very, like, the way that he spoke about Nux Spiker made me feel like Nux Spiker was like the worst person in the world. And David was just super awesome. He had figured out a way to like pick Nux Spiker's butt and make it where he made like a fake online, like an online website that highlighted. David wound up bringing his girlfriend in real life and had his girlfriend trick Nux Spiker into having online sexual relations with her, and then teleported as soon as he like took his pants, basically like made his character look like he was about to do stuff like or whatever it was, teleported there. So it was like all like a hoax. And then he like took a picture of it and then put it on this website to show everybody that Nux Spiker, the guy that everybody's friend and stuff, is just like made it out to be like he's the world's worst, just nastiest, horriblest person doing all this stuff in this game. And Nux Spiker was so bothered by it and so upset by it that he actually wound up just quitting. He wound up stopping doing everything he was doing. And it bothered a lot of people. And I was like, wow. I was like, that's like literally the first moment I met him. But I was thinking like, well, dang, that guy was, the way he said it made me think like, wow, you really showed him until I kind of learned more about the situation later on. But at the start, it was very like, whoa, David, you really,
Okay.
you got him. Good job.
All right. And I guess there's been some discussions that when you created your avatar, you stated that you were a certain age.
Yeah, I mean, well, whenever I wound up making my character, the character, like when you first start the game, it like basically says how old your character is. So it would say like 1 day or 2 day or 3 day. So when I first started, I was like, I'm like a 4-day-year-old or a 4 or 5 or 6. I mean, you don't really have like your real life age on there. You have like a 4-day or 5-day or.
Okay.
But is there an actual profile linked to this avatar where you might have put I don't remember the numbers, that you were 21 and not 16?
No, no. So I did not put anything like 23 years old or anything like that on my profile.
There was no age verification in 2010.
No, well, and I think that you did have to get your age verified, but I wound up like you could use like your parent would have to like put on your ID if you were under the age. So I wound up putting my stepmama's little thing, and I was on there, and that was a way that you could verify your age back then. You had to get parent permission.
Okay. Well, who is your stepmother?
She was Debbie Terry.
Who is that?
That was my dad's wife,
Okay.
and she was real cool. I love her a lot. She wound up getting cancer, and I mean, it was she made it for a long time. It was like stage 4 colon cancer.
Okay.
But she's real cool. I don't know. I love her.
So where did you grow up?
Well, like, do you mean like,
Just the state.
well, like in terms of that point, I was in Arkansas, but I had lived with my Nana, and then I lived with my dad, and I lived with Nana and lived with Dad. We kind of like.
Were those all in Arkansas, or those were different states?
Different states. Mm-hmm. So I was born in Georgia. I went to Florida. Then I went to Arkansas. Then I went to Georgia, and then back to Arkansas before.
So how long did you continue an online friendship with Narcissus Mint?
Well, that person was just to be able to get to David.
Oh,
so we can,
the other
it has
person,
like this
sorry.
wall of like people that you have to get through basically back then. How long did I have like a?
Right.
Well, it got pretty quickly. I started learning from him. He was talking about how his girlfriend was being really terrible to him. That his girlfriend.
Judge, can I object to narrative and not answering the question that was posed
what
by
was it?
counsel?
Oh,
Okay.
How long did I
How
have?
long? Like months, years?
Yeah, well, so it was basically like 8 months.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Hanging
I
out
didn't
with him
want-
before I wound up going to Indiana.
Okay, so how many months, sorry?
8 months.
8 months? And then did
We
you?
were dating online very quick. We started
Okay,
dating.
and did you fly to Indiana?
Yes.
Okay. Did you buy your ticket? Did your Did your parents buy you a ticket? How did that
David
work?
did.
He bought you a ticket. And how long did you stay in Indiana?
It was probably like like a year and a half or something like that. I
Okay.
think I wound up, it was like, maybe like, I wound up going to my house like in, or uh, grandma's house in like, yeah, it was like maybe like a year and quarter of being there with David.
Is this pretty consistent staying there, or do you get to go back to Arkansas at any time?
Well, yeah, so basically I was there and a lot of my mindset was that I was dating David and that his girlfriend was extremely physically abusive to him, like in a really terrible way. And that he was really afraid that she was going to actually murder him if he ever tried to leave. So we came up with this big plan to get me over into Indiana so that he would be able to safely leave her and to be able to get with the person that he really wants to be with, which was me. And so I wound up going up to Indiana having a thought that I was doing David a really big favor, that like I was going to be able to like be with him for the rest of my life. We're going to be like real super duper committed. And that I was going to be able to save him from a horrifically abusive situation, which in my world was like the best way to like this was just like so cool. It was like, it made me feel so happy. Like the way that he described it was like, we're going to be real teammates. We're going to be kicking some butt. And I'm going to be able to leverage my life as a way to save his from his wild and crazy abusive relationship with his girlfriend.
How long did you stay in Indiana before you moved to Georgia?
Yeah, like I said,
Year and a
like,
quarter.
yeah, like a year and a quarter.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Maybe like 2 years maximum or whichever.
And when you came here, did you stay with your grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
How long
and
did you live in? What city is that in?
That was Statesboro.
Okay. And how many long did you stay there?
You know, to me, that was a really wild situation for me because I was, I mean,
So the question is just how long did you stay there?
Maybe like 2 years, something like that, 2.5 years, something like that. I mean, the time kind of blurs. I was there. I was just wanting to make sure David got the best kind of treatment in the whole entire world, making sure he wound up getting over this craziness that he wound up getting himself into.
Okay. Would you say, what would you describe your financial situation as a couple? Were you at that point considered officially dating?
Yeah, so we were considered officially dating on the internet.
Oh.
Like, I mean, I was really, I mean, the whole conversation, I mean, we would be doing everything. Like, I mean, I would be calling them on the phone and we would be doing all the stuff that a normal intimate couple would be doing. We would be typing very intimately. Everything that we were doing was extremely intimate. And he had explained to me he was done with his girlfriend, absolutely, that the only reason why that he's not leaving her is because she is so scarily, horrifically abusive to him that that if he was to leave, she would actually murder him in a serious way. It was not a joke. And that he needs help because if I don't come over there and help him, he's never going to be able to escape her.
All right. So there's been some discussions about criminal family acts of violence. It started off with, okay, so there were a couple of them that were mentioned, and I'd like to address each one if that's okay. So first is spraying Febreze in my face. Is this what is your reaction to this accusation?
I don't understand what Febrezing him in his face is supposed to mean. I remember vaguely because sometimes we would get into these arguments where David would escalate. He would escalate and escalate, and he would have more and more anxiety, or he would start getting more and more like delusional during them. And I was doing my absolute best to try and calm him down, tell him I love him, and he'd say, "No, I hate you." It would get ridiculous. And so I do think when he was talking about the Febreze, he said something like he was in the bathroom and he was washing his eyes out or something like that. I mean, I do remember like, I'm sure I was like Febrezing the air, and some of our arguments got into a point where David would like, maybe he was walking through the Febreze and all of a sudden, without me even knowing what was going on, he's automatically, oh, my eyes, what are you doing? Well, you're trying to blind me. What is going on? And I was like, oh, no, David, no. And then he's in the shower doing this like extreme thing. And I'm just kind of like, what's happening? I'm like, please calm down. Everything's okay. I love you. Everything's fine. There were like moments like that. And I think that like whenever we're talking about, I don't know if it was like Febreze or maybe it was Lysol or something, but I don't
know.
like, it was like some kind of air spray. But I do remember there was a time when he was like in the shower with his eyes saying that I had done something. And I had no idea what he was talking about, because there's a lot of things that have occurred in me and David's relationship where while it's happening, I'm like, what actually is happening? And I'm like, what's going on? I mean, what do you need? You want a hug, a snuggle? What am I going to do to be able to make things better for you?
Okay, well, that was supposedly in 2019, if my notes are correct. I could be wrong in my notes, but another act in 2019 was striking ribs with water bottle.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is either. Striking ribs with a water bottle. I don't know about that one.
Okay. 2015, punch in the eye / scratch in the face.
No, I mean, I do not punch David in the face. There has been moments where David has these extreme anxiety, like panic attacks, where if I don't leave the room fast enough, or if I say something that really hurts his feelings in his mind, like if he says something and then I respond in a certain way, he randomly just takes his fist and starts hitting himself in the face while staring at it. And when I'm experiencing that, at the first times it was happening, I actually rushed to like save him from punching himself in the face by like grabbing his arms saying, no, don't do that, sweetheart. And I was told that that was being physically abusive. So it wound up changing my brain into basically just having to actually like watch him do it and realizing that I can't, the only thing I can do is like leave the room. Even when I left the room, he would still be doing it. Like I would have to hear the coming from the outside of the room. And I mean, it's happened like our entire relationship. I don't know why I would punch him in the face. I don't know how what I get from punching him in the face. I don't know. I'm not going to be getting nothing. So I don't know.
Thank you. So I don't know if these are the same thing or different, because so we know that you were arrested in 2014 for slapping him in public in Gwinnett in front of the community health building. So that was in Gwinnett. Does that ring a bell?
So that particular situation as well. So this was a time where back then he wasn't able to really drive the car. I didn't have a driver's license for quite some time anyways, but he was actually like unable to really drive. Every time he hit a bump, he would say, did I run somebody over? Did I just run somebody over? And I had to like secure him. I had to let him know like, no, sweetheart, you didn't run someone over. You didn't run someone over. And this was a moment where he needed to go get more medicine. He needed to get more medicine. So what he wound up letting me know was that you're gonna have to like get in the car with me. And so I hopped in the car with him. He was the whole time yelling and screaming at me, saying all kinds of crazy, wild stuff. He didn't have his medicine. We wound up parking at the place, and I wound up pointing at a lady who was about to get in the car. And I said, the sad part is that lady right there, I don't even know her. And if I was to get in her car instead of be in this car, I really believe she'd treat me better than you. It was like a moment where I was like, I can't believe that I'm saying that, but like, it's real. And he looked at me And he just started punching himself in the face. And what I got so scared, like my brain instantly went to, oh my gosh, if he breaks his glasses, we are not going to be able to get home. We're going to have to spend all this money on like my brain just, ugh. So I was like, I grabbed his glasses and I took his glasses off his face and I was trying to protect the daggum glasses. And he instantly went, I'm going to break my glasses. I'm going to break my glasses. And so I was like, no, please, no. And then he actually wound up leaving the car, going into the, it's like the psychiatric therapist place, the government psychiatric therapist place without any glasses on. He had been striking himself in the face in the car, and I'm just left in there with the glasses. And so I, at some point just kind of walk into the place and I'm just sitting there with the glasses in my hand, waiting for Dave. I'm like, oh my gosh, he can't see. So of course he's not going to break his glasses in here. Like, I'm sure, when is he going to come out and get it? And after a while of sitting there, it wound up being the police. And he asked me like a question that I answered. It was like, did you?
Objection, hearsay.
Well, a
It's a
police
private
officer's
owner.
question won't be hearsay, but don't get into things the officer may have said. But
Okay.
his question's not a statement, it's a question. What did the officer ask you?
Yeah, he said like, did you like remove David's glasses from him? Or did you do something with David's glasses off his head? And I had him and I said, yeah. And then he said, all right, well then.
Don't get into what he said, but then you get arrested or whatever he does.
Hands behind his
Okay.
back. Yeah, I started crying. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting actually arrested.
Okay. All right, so there was some testimony earlier about how, I think it was your mother or grandmother was going to repossess a vehicle or something if you were convicted of that charge. Do you know anything about, could you shed some light into what was about that whole issue?
Yeah, like that completely fabricated, like absolutely not true whatsoever. Nana was not trying to do that. He was extremely upset with the therapist. He was saying that therapist should lose her job. We should sue that therapist because they should not have gotten the police on you. Like he bailed me out. We wound up going to the court case with him holding my hand. We sat right next together. Even the court, like the judge even said, is that the?
Objection, hearsay.
Don't get into what
That's fine.
someone else said.
Oh, okay.
Were the charges eventually dismissed or did you plead guilty or what?
Yeah, I believe they were dismissed, or I wound up like, whatever it was that would just let it go away. I wound up just accepting that. And I think it was either dismissed or it was like, it'll get off my record or whichever
Okay.
it was. And I talked to David about it and everything. And it seemed like,
All right, so in one of the exhibits, there's a picture of some red marks around your husband's neck. He claims that it was strangulation either in 15 or 16, unclear. Do you know anything about that?
yeah, I mean, literally, absolutely no. I would never, ever, ever, ever strangle David's neck, ever.
Okay.
When I saw that on the TPO, I was so surprised because I'm like, oh my gosh, strangulation? Like that's like a big deal. That's like a huge word. Like never. I've never, ever wrapped my hands around David's neck trying to hurt him like that. There'd be like absolutely no way in the world. So I don't know what that picture is depicting of the red marks on his neck, but I wouldn't do that. I would not do that to David. Absolutely not. I love David.
Okay.
I mean, I would not
And-
mess his neck up.
In 2017, there was also a picture of David with some bruising or laceration in his, I think it was the left arm, as a consequence, he claims, of you throwing plates. I don't know if it's one plate, multiple plates, in the kitchen area, like using them like a Frisbee.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely do not remember. Well, I know for a fact I did not throw plates at David and somehow cause lacerations on his arm. I do know that there are times when David would take his fingernails and would dig his fingernails as a way to like relieve anxiety into his hand. Uh, I believe that there's a chance that somehow that he was doing it there. I can't really remember. Like, I have a feeling that that day, like when our arguments get that scary and when David starts going absolutely delusional and wild and I mean, it really is this feeling of like you're in a tornado whirlwind. You just want to get out of it. You want to shut down. I mean, I've shut down so many times. I've just like ran out the room. He said, get out the room. And I'm like, no, sweetie, we're trying to have a conversation. Okay. Well, all of a sudden he starts hitting himself or whichever. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I wound up leaving the room and I'm just like shut down. I mean, I just like the feeling of my body is shut down. So in that particular day, whatever he was doing in that room, you know, I was out of the room. I don't want to witness David doing it. I don't want to hear David doing it. I don't want to have any kind of involvement in that feeling. That feeling is a huge deal. It sticks with you. You just don't know what to do. You don't know how to stop it.
All right, so just to close on the general topic of acts of violence. And I'm referring to the acts mentioned specifically in the TPO, the one that you got served on July 15th, or yes, it would have been July 15th of 2025. So it says that on July 12th, 3 days earlier, at around 3 a.m., you had broken his phone by slamming it into the ground when he wanted to call police. If I remember, because you were destroying things in the kitchen. Okay, so what is your response to that?
That particular day, because around the July moments, you know, I honestly don't know what started happening or what was going on. I was thinking it might have been the Ozempic or something that wound up kind of making him go a little bit wild or something. I'm not really sure what was going on, but he started getting very, very dramatically higher than usual escalation. I kept saying, please learn how to de-escalate, David. We can't be doing this anymore. This is getting really scary. And seriously, like the vibe of that night was so wild because I walked into his room and we were having some kind of conversation, and it wound up escalating to the point where he like just randomly said, like, he put the phone on the thing and he said, I deserve to like die, or like I want to commit suicide. I deserve to die. And he put the 911 on his thing and he said, I'm going to call 911 and I'm going to commit cop suicide. And I was like, no, David. I was like, that's not something you're going to do. And he's like, you want to bet? You know, and I was looking at the 911 thing. I was like, there's no way that he's going to wind up doing that. Like, I was like, I even told him, I was like, you're not going to do that. He had a gun that he wound up getting. He had 2 guns at this point, but he put the gun right next to the thing. And he said that this is really like, this is what, that he knows this is like what I want. He knows this is what would be the best for me, that he's going to do this. And I didn't believe it. So I was sitting there going, no, you're not going to wind up doing this. You know, there's just absolutely no way. And he said, all right, well, and then he pressed the little green button. And when that happened, like, I was just like, my whole life just like froze. I wound up grabbing the phone. I said, no. I instantly pressed the little red button. I ran out of the room. I threw it on into the, it was like the bed underneath the sheets or whichever. He started saying, Siri, call the police. Alexa, call the police. I was running around the house, freaking out, unplugging the thing, saying, sweetie, don't do this. What are you doing? Please. I mean, it was the most insane, wild experience, like a roller coaster ride I've ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, it was like, I was like yanking cords out of the wall, trying to protect David's life. And like whichever he said about whatever it was broken, not in my perspective. I don't see I don't know how in the world me throwing it onto the bed or whichever was somehow broke the phone. I don't.
Okay, well, I don't know, but are we talking about the same day, July 12th at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, so that particular moment, like that was the day where he basically let me know that he was going to call the police on himself and he was going to walk outside with a gun and he was going to die.
And do you know that because it's like 3 days before you got kicked out of the house with a TPO? Is that how you know that that's that day?
Yeah, that was a big day.
You remember
That
that
was a really
day?
big day. Oh yeah, I remember that
Okay.
day a lot because it was like David's never escalated that far before. He's
Okay.
never done that kind of stuff.
Did you remember the week before, July 6th, for breaking another phone while trying to call the police because you were destroying things in the kitchen?
That's another thing. So I was cleaning the kitchen real good. And I even told David before I cleaned this kitchen, because it was July 4th was his birth. No, sorry, July 4th was the patriotic day or whichever it was. And then July 7th was his birthday. And so before then, I told him, like, okay, I'm going to start really cleaning because I was kicking some butt. Like I was getting on like the ADHD medication. I was getting all these things and I was going to kick some butt now. I was going to get a job, do all this fun stuff. And so I was going to super clean the house and everything and do all this stuff. And that particular day or whichever it was, the kitchen never got destroyed. Like there was never a time that I didn't break stuff in the kitchen or throw stuff on the ground in the kitchen.
Well, nobody's talking about the kitchen necessarily. We're talking about destroying the phone because he
No,
wants to call the police and you're interrupting the call. So it's not about,
No, so
It's
it
not
only
about the
happened one
kitchen.
time. The interrupting the phone call from the police happened just one time. And that was, I don't believe I broke the phone. All I did was, I remember grabbing it, pressing the thing, throwing it into the whichever. And David has, even at my grandmother's house, because he has it's like an insurance plan on the phone. And when you break the phone, you wind up getting like a new phone, a brand new phone. So if it was time to like get a new phone or to upgrade or whichever else, in order to be able to get the best possible trade-in price or whatever, he would get more and more and more of a good chance to, in the middle of like an argument or in the middle of some kind of a disagreement or whatever, just be like, oh yeah, you know what, blam. And he would break the phone.
okay,
And
Mr. Terry, so just in the interest of time, if I ask a question, just listen very carefully to the question I'm asking.
okay,
Because then if we start talking about insurance and then, about secondary insurance, then we can
Oh,
get a
okay.
little bit off of where
okay.
I'm trying to go with the question. So another thing that your husband says that you did to him is that you screamed at him and prevented him from sleeping. Is this true or false?
No, I was not, I had not
Please,
ever prevented
Listen to my question.
him.
Is
Yeah.
it true or false?
No, so it is not true that.
So that
I
would be
prevented-
false.
Yeah, it's false.
False,
That,
okay.
like, I did not prevent him from sleeping.
Okay,
I did have conversations with him before bed, but not preventing him from sleeping, like. as
okay.
if-
Did you break his CPAP machine? Yes or no?
No, I not ever broke his CPAP machine.
Did he have to call the police because you kept waking him up?
When that day, so no, that day that the police came, they literally woke me up while I was in the other bedroom with my puppy dog. And all of a sudden the police are in the house and I had absolutely no idea what in the world was going on with that. So I have no idea why the police were called.
Okay,
I still
well,
don't.
according to this, it all happened on the same big day, which was July 12th. The day that the phone went under the bed
Yeah, well, no, well, it was on top of it, but underneath the
or
sheets.
over,
Mhm.
yes, in that area.
Yeah.
So it all happened in July 12th, according to this.
Yeah, like that day when the police wound up coming to the house, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was still resting and sleeping. There was nothing scary going on that morning. I was completely shocked. In fact, if there's like a little body camera thing or whichever, I'm in complete shock. Like, what is going on right now? What's happening? Why are the police here?
So did it happen on the same day about the cop suicide attempt?
No, it did not.
That happened on a different day.
It happened on a different
Okay,
day.
hence the confusion. So on the quiet day, the non-murder cop suicide day.
Yeah.
when the police arrived, were you taking on an ambulance? Were you taking on an ambulance?
Yeah, so the first thing that they did was they were to say like, what happened? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what is happening. I was so, my eyes were like bugging out my head. I was, because I had just woken up and all of a sudden I'm out here with police and I don't know what to say. I didn't know if David did something wrong. I don't know what in the world happened.
Were you taking on an ambulance?
So, yeah,
Okay,
so
yes.
they,
Yes or no?
yeah, so they
Okay.
asked me, if,
I'll ask the
oh,
next
okay,
question.
okay.
Yes. Okay. So, where were you taken in the ambulance?
It was to like a hospital thing. I wound
How
up,
long did you stay there?
they had no idea. Well, whenever I got there, they didn't really know why I was there. But
How long were you there?
just like like a couple minutes or whichever.
Hours?
Like, no, it was like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. They said obviously nothing was wrong.
Were you discharged?
Yeah, they said there was.
Did you go
nothing.
back home?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm, I sure did, yeah.
All right. And the weeks between, well, no, it would be before. Okay, so then prior to July 12th, did you threaten your husband saying that you would commit murder-suicide?
Of course not.
Okay.
No, I love David, and I wound up telling David that if he really wants to really separate, and if he really wants a divorce, to me that it feels like that would be like dying. But I love him so much, I'd be willing to go through that pain for him. I'd be willing to go do it, but like it's just such a big issue for me because like this has been my whole life. Like ever since I was little, I was like with him. We're like super cool teammates. We're supposed to be kicking the world together, and like everything was supposed to be cool. And at this point, I started really kind of believing David. I was like, I can't keep dealing with this. I can't keep having you do all this wild stuff and the way that everything, I don't know what's going on ever. I can't ever calm you down. I don't know. So I wound up getting to a place where I was like, you know what? If you really want to do it, let's do it. But gosh, is this going to really hurt me? It's going to be really hard to go through. And I did. I said, I literally think I even said the words I said was like, it feels like dying, it'd feel like death, but I'm willing to die for you for real. Like my love is so strong, I'd be willing to protect him. I've said it multiple times. If anyone came into the house, I would stand up there and protect him. I would make sure that he didn't get harmed, even at the cost of my own life, because that's just like the way I love David. He's just my little unconditional snuggle bug. I love him, and so I don't want to leave him. But at this point, I started getting to a point where like, all right, maybe we might need to separate as much
Okay.
as it hurts.
Well, two more things that are mentioned in the CPO. The first is that you screamed at him and you damaged his hearing. So you and the other one is pouring trash and liquid. So could you address those two separately, but just briefly?
Okay, yeah, I know it's a lot. The ear thing, David has very sensitive hearing. And sometimes, especially whenever we're having arguments, I might be a little bit soft-spoken, and then David kind of gets an octave over. And so I have to kind of do an octave over that in order to kind of be like, no, don't do that. And especially if I'm too soft, he'll let me know like I'm sounding like I'm like totally chill with this, like there's no big problem or there's no deal. Like I'm happy, I guess. I'm happy that he's acting this way. So I had to kind of act like, no, please don't, and then if my voice got into anywhere near a higher octave at all whatsoever, all of a sudden you're hurting my ear, you're messing my ear up, you're doing all of these things to my ear, you're messing with me, this is horrific, this is abusive. And I didn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know how to like get through this situation. If I'm super duper soft, it messes me up. If I get serious and I go, no, David, this is not it, then you're yelling at me. So I know for a fact he has said multiple times I'm hurting his ear, or that his ear is like really hurting because I'm too loud. But then if I'm
Okay,
soft and
okay.
happy, or trying to get through it with a smile and everything's gonna be okay, David, it's all right, then it's like I'm
Thank
not
you
even
very
taking
much.
this seriously.
Thank you. What about the pouring trash and pouring liquid? Just very briefly.
Okay, yeah.
That's
So
fine.
he's got a like a trash bag thing, which what he said, it was like it's on his little like microphone thingamadealing. And whenever he puts all of his stuff on there, he puts off his like ash from the little bong thing. He got he just puts his drink cans. He doesn't like pour them out in the sink first. He just puts them in the drink. And there's times when there is we have like a service that comes and picks up the trash from outside. And so sometimes, and he'll sit there and he won't have any clothes on whenever he's playing on the computer. And so I'll go over there and I'll be in a really big rush and I'll be like, all right, let me just take this up and over for you. And whenever I pull it up, the trash bag itself either has like a hole on the bottom of it, or it's got like a little bit of like, I don't know what that would be called, like the Coca-Cola stuff is kind of right there. And so it would drip on him, or something would kind of fall out of the thing. And then he would say, you did that on purpose. You poured trash on me. You literally did that on purpose, Chris. Like you on purpose you just did this to me. Look at what just happened. And that was, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Well, what's that? I was like, let me put it outside, and I would come over there and I said, you want me to clean you up or whichever? And he would be like, no, don't. And you just. I
Did
just
this
dealt with it.
happen once or multiple times?
This was multiple times.
Okay, so are these stories based on nuggets of truth, but they're exaggerated versions of the story?
Yes, David exaggerates like big time, like really huge, like, whoa, oh my goodness gracious, wow, you can somehow come up with that, like it's like, ooh, I mean,
Okay,
and
that's-
escalating. It's like it feels like super mega escalation. Like it's you would think it was just this, but then it gets here, and then if you try to solve this, it gets here, and then it gets here, and then at some point you just shut down, and you don't know what to do anymore. You just want to like go somewhere else.
Okay, great. Let's move on to another topic.
Judge, if I can,
Sure.
can we get a 5-minute bathroom break? Or less?
I'm gonna be fairly efficient after this.
Well, we'll address the need for a break. Had you finished? It seemed like you were transitioning to something
No, but
different.
I can take a break. I was gonna go to a different topic.
That's
so
what I mean. You were transitioning. So a natural time for a break. We'll do that. It'll be a break for everyone. We'll try to keep it to 6-7-ish minutes, but you tell Deputy Gordon, if I'm trying to bring you back in here too soon, just sort of bar the door and he'll let me know you aren't ready to end the break. Please don't talk about the case or conduct any outside research. See you back in just a little bit.
All right, you're.
Just waiting for the door to close. There we go. Mr. Terry, your project during the break is to internalize this. Make sure you answer the question. Mr. Polanco, sometimes his questions are true or false. And your answer is true or false. It could be something in between, like, I don't know. That's fine too. But you've had a tendency to go over here, over there, and you're responding generally to what's going on. But I think Mr. Polanco is trying to get certain information to the jury. And so I'm going to just ask you to make sure you're listening. It'll be the same when Ms. Yarber's asking you questions. If she says, what color was it? Don't talk about a trip you took with David. Say the color was blue.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, I've been trying to.
It's all right. This is a stressful situation.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay.
I wasn't saying he wasn't doing well. I'm just saying he needs to
and I
answer the
wasn't
questions directly. All right.
Can I talk to him in my break?
Just not about the case, but you can talk to him. Why don't you guys step outside and just don't talk about whatever else you're going to be covering. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Right out there.
Well, just sit here, Kirsten.
You do? Well, stand, but then when they've taken their seats, you can then take yours.
To the microphones.
All right, adjourned. I'll do the president of town report.
Thank you, Deputy Gordon. Everyone else can be seated. Hopefully you are all as recharged as I am from the break. We are continuing the direct examination of Mr. Terry. Mr. Polanco, when you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, I'm gonna start in 2018 after you have been dating since meeting in 2010, you marry in 2018, right?
Yes.
All right. And in 2018, do you recall the exact date of the marriage?
Well, we consummated the marriage and we made a cute little moment on December 25th. So it was on Christmas. But I think that it was a couple days prior that we went there and we went there together and we had this cute little moment where we walked in there together and we signed and everything. And then there was also the thing with Michael Burgess that came to the.
I just asked the date.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who asked who to marry? Do you know who asked whom to get married? Who proposed to whom?
David proposed to me.
Okay. Beginning in the marriage, beginning when you, once you've been married, what was your contribution to the household? Do you understand what that question is asking?
Yes. I wound up doing like all the grocery shopping. I wound up getting like almost every one of his drinks out of the refrigerator if he was thirsty. I would wind up getting all of his food. I would go and get delivery from Wendy's or McDonald's or Taco Mac and this would be like at some days even I would go for breakfast and then I would also go for lunch. I would also go for dinner. I'd also go for a midnight snack. So I'd always be out and about and I would always be like at David's beck and call. I was like his little thing. If he was something, I'm gonna go get it. If he needed to call somebody on the phone, I was the one calling. I called all of his people. I called all the different things. And anytime I ever made any money, it just went straight into his bank account. I mean, I never even saw my own money in my own bank account. It was always just his.
It's 9, Exhibit 9, Your Honor. Okay.
Sorry.
If I may approach,
You may.
and I'm gonna show you a document, and if you can just let me know if you recognize it, and if so, what is it?
Yes. Okay. So this right here is like a
Don't get into the contents, and you may not have been, but just generically describe. It's a ticket stub, or it's an autographed baseball, or whatever it is.
So it's like a resume of how I helped David out with his his growth and his career.
What is the vehicle? In other words, not what the content is, but what is the page show? Or what is?
It shows what I was doing.
Is it a Microsoft Word document? Is it something that you wrote on a chalkboard?
It's me and David created this together. It was like a resume for me to be able to send to people and for him to be able to use whenever he was going to wind up getting me a job, like doing things or whichever, like, and I would be able to call him or have him be the person that they
Who
call.
drafted the document?
We did it together, but I believe David was the one that did all the polishing on it and everything. Like we sat down together and
Okay.
realized what did I do, for him, because we had our own
Is
like,
it a-
business.
That's fine. Is it in the form of a text, of a email, text message, Word document?
Yeah, it might have been like a Word document. I'm trying to think about it. I guess it was like a Word document that he wound up sending me through a text message, like, hey, this is
Is it in a
the final
bubble?
draft.
Is it in a bubble?
This is a bubble, yeah, and like a text message bubble
The
here.
text message bubble? Okay, Your Honor, with that.
Any objection to respondents 9?
Judge, if we can just have some clarity on who sent the text or that, I didn't hear that.
I didn't say it, but is this a text message that you sent to somebody?
This would be like a text message that like I've received from David and I then sent to places or whichever else. Like this would be like my little resume thing, like this would be like what I would send anything I would be interested in, like doing a job for.
Okay.
If the witness is stating that the text that he's looking at, he received from my client, no objection.
I think that's what you said, and then you may have forwarded on to others.
Yeah, like I do, like I remember us making this together, and then this would be exactly what I would send.
Okay, I'll
Like my
admit,
resume. This would be my resume.
I understand that. I'll admit respondents 9.
Okay. And can you read for us the first paragraph of your resume?
Yeah.
Or
so-
excuse me,
Do you
let me
have
publish it.
Yeah, let's get it on the screen, please.
Okay. So was this doc? I'm trying to-
I've muted you. You're good.
Okay.
Oh, you just unmuted yourself.
Oh,
Don't press
sorry.
any buttons.
Was this document drafted in 2019? Or this document was drafted in 2019, yes?
Yes.
Okay. This is soon after your marriage,
Mm-hmm.
6 months or so?
Yep.
All right. So
Like a
you,
real team then.
so how do you describe yourself from 2017 to present?
Can you magnify it a little bit, please?
Yes.
So, that would be David's like personal assistant. I'd be responsible for making appointments and calling, retaining information from calls. I'd be responsible for picking up food and delivering it on time. I would be cleaning the house, and I would also take care of the dog during whenever he has out-of-state business trips. And I would have to maintain any other tasks required in order for everything to operate smoothly. And that
Mr.
is-
Cherry, does that mean that when Mr. Piner was not on out-of-state business trips, he was responsible for taking care of the dog?
No, absolutely not. My puppy dog is really scared of David. I mean, he is not.
I want to take you off, Mr. Palmer, but the answer is that when Mr. Piner was in town, he wasn't the exclusive caregiver to the dog.
I was like the only caregiver for the dog. And
Okay.
he would have to, if I went out of town, but I would only be able to go out of town for like a couple of days because Sozo couldn't handle being around him at all. He would start poo-pooing around the house and would not be able to be taken out.
So you describe yourself as a personal assistant from 2017 to that day, which is 2019. But before that, so going down further in the resume, you describe yourself as three other things. So I really want to go very, very superficially over that. I do not want to spend a lot of time on it, okay? But between the job immediately before personal assistant, it says customer service. Who are you doing the customer service for? Is it David or something else?
Yeah, so basically this would be me helping David out, me like talking to people that David would be talking to, or just assisting David in his community outreach, or the way that he would he had like a little bit of a different job kind of back then. So it was more like it was like doing YouTube videos as well. Like I would do YouTube videos. I would just constantly be like a very friendly, happy vibe that was always around David. That we were just always around
Okay.
each other.
And before that, it's content writing and gaming and content developer.
Yeah.
Is that related to the online games like
Yeah. So
Second Life or World of Warcraft? I don't know.
Yeah, so he was like a writer, and I would help him come up with ideas, or I would like help him like write, because he would have to we would always be around each other. So he'd be sitting in there just typing up, and he would say like, is this good, or should I do this differently, or should I do that? We were even talking about me getting a job at 10 Ton Hammer. I even like applied whenever I was at my grandma's house, I believe. I wound up applying to his boss or whichever, and they wound up not needing me, but we tried. And I still was doing the same thing with him. I would just sit, so I was sitting right there with him. So I would just help him create content.
Did you get published any articles in the online magazine?
No, so everything that was ever published was always published under his name. It was like a Zarin, I think that was the name that everything was published under.
Okay. Okay. So there's been some I guess statements or testimonies that you just kind of danced, smoked weed, went to church, and was on an hookup app called Grindr. Danced, smoked weed, went to church, and did that, and sat on the fluffy marshmallow couch, hugging the dog all day. Is that like, what is your response to that? I guess characterization of how you spent your time.
I mean, I did a whole lot more than that, like I do like dancing. I do like snuggling my puppy dog, because the puppy dog is the doggy that I wound up getting after my mama passed away. Like I named doggy Sozo. I found a doggy. It's my doggy. David knows it's my doggy 100%. It's constant, just obvious knowledge of that. I even called it, I'm the pup owner. And we would always talk about the pup owner and how much he misses his pup owner. And he was literally so attached to me at the hip that it was just beyond silly. I love that daggone puppy so much. Like he's so daggone cool. And he's he's like the puppy of all puppies for me. Like he's my doggy. The first doggy I said, this is my dog. Because instead of it being like a family dog, this was my puppy dog. And I needed to have something that was kind of emotionally supporting, because my mama passed away at 51 years old. And I was really connected to mama a whole lot. So whenever that void, I wound up going to church, and I was doing a lot of church stuff. And I was dancing, and David really does like smoking weed a lot. And so I would smoke weed with him, and I would smoke a little. I mean, I would try my best to because I'm not very good at, I like I don't like going to sleep and stuff like that. I like being, especially since I gotta drive and I gotta do all these things and whichever. So I would put like a little tiny bit, like a little itty bitty bit, and then I would feel like I'm doing it with him.
Okay, so my question originally was about what was your contribution to the household, how you spent your day? Sounds like you were a personal assistant, you were busy doing
Yes.
household chores.
Just calling people. I would always be out in the car doing chores and doing like errand runs. I would be consistently like just asking David, what do you need? What do you want now? What should we do? What should I do here? What should I do there? He would ask me questions like, what do you think about this idea at work? Or what do you think that I should do here? Or what do you think here? And we would just always be talking about it. We were like a little teammate, like little bundle. And like it was just every day was very like go, 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 go all the time.
Okay, there's been some discussion that you got Social Security disability.
Hmm.
What do you remember the years?
I
How
do
many
know-
years?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a lot of years.
How many?
I mean, I believe it was like over 5.
Okay, around 5.
That maybe like 7.
What year? Okay, do you recall 2013 to 2020? I mean, in other words, can you estimate the years?
Not really, because the way that it wound up working is David wound up saying, we need to get you, like he was saying, I need to get on disability. He was saying that my brother needs to go on disability. My mom has needed to get, it was whenever I was at Nana's house, and he was like, I understand how to do it in a way to where we're going to be able to like get you like income, and you should get on it because you act this way or you act that way. And then he like helped me write it all up and everything. And I wound up getting on it. But the way I got on it was he went with me to the doctor. And then the doctor asked questions, and just naturally I kept saying like, what should I do, David? And the doctor was like, no, you're supposed to answer the question. And I was like, okay. And then like he asked me again, and I looked straight at David and I was like, what is it? Which one is it? And it wound up from me doing that, he said yes to the disability. And I started getting the payments and the Medicaid or whichever.
When?
It was whenever I was still at Nana's house.
That means Indiana or that means Statesboro?
Statesboro.
So before you all moved to Atlanta?
Yes.
And when did it stop?
After we got into this apartment, because he wound up saying like, well, since you're so close with God and everything, you don't need this anymore. So I didn't send it to him. And I didn't know he didn't wind up sending the letter. And so I just found out by them sending it to me that I'm off of it. And I was
How
like,
much did you get each month?
I think it was like $860, though 100% every single one of the checks, I saw none of the money. It went 100% into his checking account. And I was just feeling good because I was like, well, I'm contributing that. So now I did good, but I never, ever saw that money.
Do you remember if the payments stopped around the pandemic or people wearing masks, or was it before the pandemic in 2020?
Yeah, I think it was like right whenever the pandemic first kind of started, because I think they like sent us a thing saying like, you need to send us updated information. And David just didn't, we filled it out. Like I did the whole thing and everything. We filled it out, but then he didn't never send it. So
You remember if you were living excuse me, your husband yesterday had testified that you were living with your grandmother approximately in 2012, 2013 period. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so approximately from 2013 to 2019 is when you received these payments.
Yeah, or maybe even a little bit longer. I mean, like, I guess maybe I had it for like quite a long time. I don't really know because I never saw the checks. So I guess for me, it was I just had health insurance. I had like all of this stuff, and I would go to a little place and I would talk to him or whichever. And
That's fine. In 2018, when your mother dies, did you inherit a Nissan 370Z?
yeah, so the way that it worked was Nana, there was no will. So Nana wound up getting the car, and then I wound up getting the car from Nana. So Nana wound up taking me to the little title place or whichever, and they wound up, she wound up signing the title over to me.
Was the car paid for?
Yes, fully. There was no payment.
Okay. And what, that before you, was, well, I mean, this was before you were married, right? That your mother died?
Yes.
Before
Yeah, so
December.
It was, yeah, it was July. It was July 25th, I believe, that Mama passed away. And then,
Of 2018.
of 2018, it was July 25th.
And she was quite young at 51.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was the weirdest thing ever. Like it was, I couldn't believe it. It was like the most wildest thing
Okay.
ever.
So when you inherit this car, I guess, did David use it? Was it his property? Did his name ever get on it?
Yeah. So, I mean, so David would drive it and stuff. He didn't really like driving it all the time or whichever, because he said like it was like a superstitious thing or something, like Mama wouldn't want him to drive it or something like that. But it never stopped him from doing it.
But let me rephrase the question. Did his name ever get on the car?
Well, when we wound up selling it, he wound up like rebuying it because he disagreed with the fact that my family, since I was the one that actually wanted to sell the car, I was talking about because of the Lord. And I was thinking like, I think we should do it so that I could wind up helping Chad out, which is my brother Chad, getting his dental work. Because I thought like he needed to get a full thing of dentures. And I was thinking in my head, like, this will work out good. So even though I love Mama.
Mr. Terry,
Oh.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but my question was, did his name ever get on the title? Yes or no?
I believe so, because he rebought it, and I believe he was the main person.
Okay.
And I was the co-signer
All right.
of the
And
car.
where is the vehicle today?
Well, it's like in Ohio being sold.
Okay, how did
somewhere.
it get there?
Well, the car got stolen because
When did it get stolen?
I wound up, basically I just had to take all my designer stuff and all my mama's jewelry and everything and just.
When did it get stolen?
Oh, it was like right after I wound up getting kicked out of the house or whichever happened there.
Is that
Okay, so-
2025? Is that last year?
2025. Yeah,
Okay.
so it was 2025 and there was only a little bit left on the loan too. It was worth 20,000. And it was only like 6,000 left or something, 5,000 left on the loan.
Okay, so,
Judge, sorry, the camera is off for the witness.
Sorry? Keep going.
okay. So let's talk about the TPOs, which are, I guess, around the time period that you're talking about. On July 15th, you were served with certain TPO papers. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it was wild.
Did you know ahead of time that David wanted to divorce you?
I mean, like, I thought
Yes or no?
yeah, like,
Did you know?
whenever we had arguments, he would mention it all throughout. I didn't know this was the time when it was really, really serious. So I wasn't prepared for that, but I was prepared to start making the things of like, I'm going to go to my dad's house for a little bit and hang out. And we were going to like have this really cute like relationship online again. And then we were going to come back because we were there for the pandemic. And we kind of just, I felt like it was time for like us to like, but I didn't think we were going to actually really separate because I'm committed to David. I would not separate. I just thought it was about time for like me to be like, hey, guess what I'm doing over here? And I was thinking about getting the job and all this fun stuff. And I was thinking that's how it was going to work out. I didn't think it was like we're never talking to each other. Or, I would never agree to that kind of stuff.
Got it. Next question.
Yeah, so when you were told to leave the house on July 15th, where did you go?
Well, I was in complete shock.
But
Yeah.
where'd you go?
Oh, I first went to like, it was like this little, like a Jewish household. I had these, there was like kind of,
What was your final destination?
so I stayed there for a little bit. I stayed somewhere else for a little bit. And then I wound up finding like a person that said they'd be able to help me out, over at, like it was like kind of downtown or a little bit Atlanta or whichever. I was supposed to like put all my stuff in the house and I could stay there while I waited for this wild trial or whatever was going to happen so for me to kind of refute the evidence and get back to my house, you know. And whenever I was there, I wound up getting like hoodwinked or whatever, and everything got stolen. Everything inside of the car got stolen. The car got stolen. And I was like totally just walking. I mean, I went to, like I was homeless completely now. You know, I had no car. I had no nothing. I had no idea what was going on. And I didn't know. Like I went to
What car were you riding? Wait, just, if you don't mind, I'll just ask the follow-up questions. So what car were you driving when the car was stolen?
it was the 370.
Okay, this car that we're talking about, the Nissan 370
Yes,
that you
that was-
inherited from your mother.
Yeah.
So this car you said was stolen from you
Yeah, completely stolen.
because you were in downtown Atlanta after being kicked out of your house?
Yes.
And what was your next move after that? The next move?
I went to Atlanta Hope, the Hope Atlanta airport thing, hoping I could stay there. She said, there's no way for you to really stay there. I wound up trying to make it. I was so like, I was like, oh my gosh. So I wound up going to my house. You know, I wound up going to, I was thinking I would go in there and be like, hey, David, I see you really want to get rid of me. This was serious. Oh my goodness. Well, like, help me. I need help. Like my car is stolen. All my stuff is stolen. All my mama's stuff is stolen. I need help. I don't know what to do. Like
Okay.
I was so tired.
You described
walking.
yourself as homeless after the car was taken. Is this because you were sleeping in the car?
So I was sleeping in the car prior, and then I had met somebody to where I was moving the stuff into their place, and then it wound up just everything was stolen. So when I wound up coming back to the particular house, the house was like cleaned out. All my stuff was cleaned out of the house. My car was gone. Everything was gone. So
Okay.
there was like a couple things on the ground. I wound up grabbing like cute little Jesus-y stuff.
So do we know whatever ended up happening ultimately to the car? Like, what is the status today?
In Ohio, we know that.
Yeah, so it was recovered like the day after I went to jail, which was wild. I can't believe it happened to me. But the day after it got recovered, but then I believe they contacted David because they couldn't contact me. I believe he was the first one on the car. So they wound up contacting David and nothing happened. Like it didn't get out of import. So it got sold or something and then it wound up just being up for sale in Ohio for basically like $20,000 still, you know.
Okay, so nobody took it out of impound. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, nobody, my family was never alerted. I didn't know until after I got out of jail that, because I couldn't call David or ask anything like that. So I just was waiting until I got out of jail. But my gosh, that took forever.
How much money did you make working DoorDash per week
Yeah, I mean,
or per month?
on
average, just one number.
I don't really know since I never really saw the money. It just went to David's account.
Okay, so it was sort of set up where the earnings would be deposited into a joint account, or what kind of account was it?
It wasn't I don't believe it was a joint. It was just like the money went to his account or whatever. It was.
Right,
It
but
was
you
like
can still see
my
your-
paycheck went to
You
the,
can still see your earnings on the phone
yeah, I
per
mean,
week or
I
per
don't think
month.
I wasn't really checking it. I was more checking, like I would like sign up to the thing and I would like go pick up something or whichever, and then I would come home.
So you don't know how much money you were making?
Not to be able to really say it.
How much did you work in DoorDash? Did you work a lot or a little? or-
It was like 2 trips every like 2 days or so. Like it'd be like whenever I could squeeze it in. There'd be days where I would do more, or there'd be a day where I would do one long trip and then I'd be like, whew, like that was a big one. And so I'd like but it was like off and on. Like some days I would do 3 trips. It would all depend on like if I could kind of squeeze it in between already picking up David's stuff. So I was like already door dashing for David, but then I would door dash on top of that. you know.
Okay,
basically.
and there was also some mention of you going downtown to do community outreach or, I don't know if it's like fundraising or something to that effect. Do you know what I'm talking about? Your husband
Yes.
testified that you would go downtown to
Yes.
either raise money or something to that effect.
Yeah, it was like this,
Work.
yeah, this little work dealio thingamadilly where like you go there and you like try to get people to donate for like a fundraiser thing or like a thingamadilly. And it just was like you would have to get up way too early to be able to go do it. So I wasn't able to do that for very long at all. Like it's not a
Okay.
thing I was.
What year was the Toyota Prius purchased?
I think it was in like 2019
Okay.
maybe, or like, I think it was like 20.
Was that the same year the dog was purchased?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. How did you, how did you both come into possession and ownership of Zozo, the dog?
So I came up with the total idea that I need to get I need to get a puppy dog because my mama passed away. And this is the time for it. David was not looking for a dog or not interested in getting a puppy dog. He was kind of confused. He was like, "You're gonna get a dog?" And I was like, "Yep, I sure am. I'm gonna get a puppy dog." And I remember like talking to Nana about it. It was that Christmas or my birthday or something. I was gonna get some money, and I was gonna get one puppy dog, and it was gonna be a puppy, but it wound up falling through. So I tried. This was gonna be a very expensive puppy dog. This Zozo, he's a purebred border collie, and I wound up calling her on the phone, and we had these long talks. And she was like, "This puppy dog has went through a lot. And I can see that you're like really wanting to hang out with the puppy dog a lot and stuff like that. So I want to help you out and I want to help him out. And so I really think I want to sell this dog to you, and I want to sell it to you for like the amount you can pay." So I wound up like being able to pay what I was able to pay, which was like just $300. And I wound up driving all the way to Ohio, just myself in the car. It was like David, it was really just separate from this. It was not a thing that David was interested in. It was like, this is your dog. It was obvious it was my puppy dog. It was 100% obvious.
Excuse me.
It was like my emotional support puppy doggy.
Okay, Your Honor, earlier in the morning, I had submitted D6 and D7, which was the dog contract and the vet visit. Does the court have,
I
are
do.
those still there? Okay.
Would you like me to hand them to Mr.
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Here are 6 and 7, sir.
Okay.
So I'm just showing you two documents. Would you mind taking a quick look at them? Tell me if you're familiar with them. So how? D9.
Yeah.
These are
so-
D6, D7, sorry.
Yes, I'm familiar with these.
Okay, and are these documents related to the purchase and care for the dog?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is what Monica, the person who sold the puppy dog, sent.
all right. And how did you come into possession of these documents?
She sent it to me over the phone.
Okay, who is she?
Monica, she was from Bent Creek Border Collies. That's like her little thing. And she's the one who was
Is
responsible.
She the seller of the dog?
I believe that
Breeder?
she wound up getting, because basically the puppy dog was a pick of the litter from another woman. And she wound up noticing that the woman was breeding him a little bit too fast because he's a very special border collie. And so he has like a stud dog basically. And the lady was trying to get money way too fast with him. So Monica wound up driving across the thing, seeing him, saying, you got to sell the dog because you got to sign this contract thing saying that she can do that. And so I believe that I actually picked up the dog from the Ohio, and the lady that was being forced to sell it was like the middleman because it went straight from her to me. So I don't know if I picked it up from Monica, but I picked it up from Monica's friend. It was like a friend of hers from another border collie place.
All right.
Border collie.
Ms. Yarber, do you have any objection to the admission of Exhibit 6 or 7? You did before through a different witness, and you may still, but or cut to that chase.
Judge, it's the same objection of hearsay. I don't think that it would fall up under business records of session. Monica's not here to prove that this is the document that she gave her, but nonetheless, if he's trying to prove that he purchased a dog, okay, I'm not certain what the documents would help to show the jury anyway.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Polanco, as to exhibit 6 and 7?
Legally operative words. If a person in a commercial transaction says, I accept, the statement I accept is not hearsay. It is a legally operative word. It is non-hearsay. Hearsay is not the correct objection. It
Okay.
falls in the 4 categories above hearsay.
Okay, I'm gonna exclude 6 and 7. You can certainly ask your client more about the dog acquisition process. But 6 and 7 will stay out. Can I have those back, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I got it right.
Got it.
Those are 2 things.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, so presumably you want to keep the dog.
100%. That's like I mean, if I'm losing David, which I'm in a position where like I agree, if he really, really doesn't want to be around me, of course he doesn't have to be, but it's rough for me because this is like the love of my life that my little teammate guy, the guy I just wanted to say, hey, what's up? I hope you're doing good. I don't know what's happened, but it seems to be happening.
But you want
so
to
now
keep-
my doggie, I can't also lose a doggie that I literally love. And I have never hurt that puppy dog. 100%, like by far, absolutely would never ever hurt that puppy dog whatsoever. That's like my kid, like my everything. That's like a puppy dog that I literally wind up like snuggling a lot. I'd be like you said, I snuggled it all day, but I would snuggle him all the time whenever he was home because Sozo was scared of him. So he would always be, that's why that's even like why like we wound up not started sleeping together very much because I was always like over there making sure Sozo's okay. Sozo didn't really like being around the whole thing. I was just constantly loving on the puppy. I mean, we went outside like all the time. We were outside. We were hanging out with the people. Like he didn't like ever walk Sozo. If I was there, he never did. There was like never a time where David wound up being able to do it because Sozo wouldn't even walk out the house. He'd be like, no, that one. No, that one.
All right, next
I'm a
question.
full-time pup owner.
Okay, Mr. Terry. So what are you asking your husband in terms of alimony?
Well, like I wish I would have been able to talk about it, without like it's like I need help getting on my feet because right now.
Why is that?
Because I mean, just everything just got taken out from under me like a total rug. I don't like right now, just like I can't go get like I'm relying on my 81-year-old like grandmama that has a heart problem and she's having to do everything. I can't even get a job right now because of the fact that I have this ankle thing. I have to sit at the house all day long, just sitting around. And I would never hurt David or do anything like that. I'm not that vibe at all. So I'm just sitting here for no reason, confused. We're all confused. What's going on? Why did this happen to me? And I've been with him now. Like I literally met him online at 15 years old. Now I'm 30. Well, he left me at 31 by just throwing me out the house and saying bye. He could let every one of my cards go. He did not pay a single thing. I have no insurance. I have no anything. I've just been thrown out of my whole life, my everything, including the guy that I literally like would just want to help even now. Like even if he was hanging out with some other guy or if he was being with, I'd be like, yo, what's up? How you doing? But I can't even do that. So I'm just like sitting here completely messed up. I don't know what to do. And I need some help. I need like something. Like I need like, I would love to be able to like I don't have any money for a car payment. I don't have any money for insurance. I got my teeth messed up. Like there's like a tooth that literally messed up and
You don't need to show anyone.
Oh, okay.
That,
But
just
anyways, I
talk
don't
about
have
it.
dentists. I can't go to a dentist, so it just cracked and fell.
So I guess the reason I asked this question is because it's been asked before, is that two things. Number one, that you want to be taken care of for the rest of your life. And number two, let me finish, that what happens when a person refuses to accept responsibility when they're able-bodied? In other words, Your marriage has lasted approximately 7 or 8 years, from December 2018 to present. And the marriage presumably will be dissolved by this jury or ended in divorce. So considering the length of that marriage and the time that you've been in that marriage, the question becomes, well, you're still young, you're still healthy, you're young, you can go out there and be able-bodied and get a job and help support yourself.
Yes,
So those two things,
yes, and I do, I
the
just, need-
permanent and the able-bodied.
what was the first thing that you said?
Permanent.
Yeah, so I'm obviously not looking for this forever. I don't think he should pay me like for the rest of my life or anything like that. I just need like an amount to where it makes sense that we are deciding, like, because I want to get good enough. Like, I want to be like good. I want to be able to have a car. I want to be able to like have a job. I'm not looking to be taken care of. In fact, that's why I decided to say to him and make these choices that, okay, I will wind up start working on leaving. I mean, I was actually working on it. Whenever all this happened. I think that's literally why it happened, is because I was actually taking him seriously for once. I was like, okay, I'll start really working. And then all of a sudden I just got it pushed. I mean, like, okay, well, how about this? Boom. So now I'm in a position where everything's a shock. Like my family had to do all this crazy stuff with jail, that why am I there? There's all this insanity because he, he put me, he did a thing in jail that said I get nothing. Like we were so stressed, my whole family, like we couldn't afford a lawyer. We had to have God's graces with Carlos, but like I literally was served a paper in jail that said you get absolutely nothing and I'm stealing your puppy dog. Like I'm totally stealing him. Like you kidnapped your dog and goodbye. By the way, you can't talk to me.
Judge, I'm gonna object to narrative based on the question the council asked about what is he seeking for alimony.
Okay, let's get back to figures.
Oh,
Yeah, permanency, not permanent. You do not want permanent. So for how long do you want it? Or, I mean, just more or less.
Yeah, like I think like from like 3 years to even if whatever the jury decides, however much, if it's like 1 year to 3 years, however much. If it's like 2,000 a month to 1,500 a month or something like that.
And you've already heard that your spouse was earning approximately 130,000 per year at Virtual Marketing LLC, which is a contractor for Fiserv, including discretionary bonuses at the end of the year. And you've also heard his expenses. His expenses are substantial because a lot of eating out and stuff like that. But which you're aware of because you were going to get those foods. But my question is, so do you feel that he has the ability to pay that, given your experience of what you know?
Yes, 100%. Yes. And I want it to be fair. Like I want this to be like an actual, we go our separate ways or whichever. He says he wished me the best. I wish him the best too. I want him to be kick butt and awesome. And I'm sure he wants me to also grow and become somebody that 100% is doing good. And obviously we agreed fully to be with each other forever. 100%. Like it was guaranteed, like that was supposed to be the guaranteed thing. And I hit 31 and all of a sudden he's like, oh, bye. And it's like I'm in a position where like, I don't know what I'm going to do because I wasn't expecting this at all to happen. Just like bye without any explanation or like any understanding of why this was happening.
That's going to be my last question. So the reason or the expressed reason, stated reason for the divorce, is it financial? Because there's been some complaints that maybe your overspending may have contributed to some debts. Your husband says that he has debts, that he has caused him a lot of financial stress. So that's one thing.
Okay.
The other thing is this religious element to it. There's a lot of references to Jesus and of the Bible and how this is sinful and I don't know. So can you describe like what you see? Well, let's just address those in pieces. So first of all, the financial. Is it true that you overspent and did that contribute to the falling apart of the marriage?
Well, to me, David loves buying like Louis Vuitton and Burberry and like from the stores, you know? So this is a lot of money stuff he would buy. Like he would buy $400 video game here. He has like this video game collection that he keeps showing me like, look at this, look at how much I've spent in this thing. This thing's worth $24,000, $28,000. Like, look at all this money he would spend so much money on these high ticket items. So for me, I would like go online onto this ThreadUp thing or whichever, and I would get like a cute little thing and it would be like $15 or like $20. And I'd be like, yes, I did such a good job, you know? And it made me feel happy because that was kind of like my little thing I did for fun around the house and stuff was like, I get a little $10 thing here, or I'd get a little $15 thing here. I didn't really want to spend $800 on a thingy, but like that's what he loves doing. So it kind of balance each other out. Like he would get the big giant ticket item and he wanted to get me those items. And I kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable a little bit every time he did. Cause I was like, whew. So for me, it didn't seem like I was spending that much money, like going to Goodwill and getting like $10 worth of stuff or $5. Like, look, and I would go there on the 99-cent day on Monday and stuff. And I would try to get like a couple things. It just doesn't feel like I was really spending all that much money, or like a little buy now, pay later thing. It would be like $5 every 2 weeks, and it would be a $20 item, or it'd be like $15 every 2 weeks, and that's a $60 item. Like it wasn't this like huge giant thing. He wanted to buy me the big ticket items, and I thought that was cool. Like I was like, this is cool, but
Okay.
that's not what I really like.
So would it be true or false that you overspent and contributed to a large portion of those debts? True or false?
False.
Thank you. I'm gonna show you a document and I just want to focus just real quick, tell me if I may approach. If you can just tell me what it is, or if you recognize it, and if so, and then that'll be the last exhibit.
Okay, I'm gonna read it first.
Well, what is it, generally speaking?
Before you worry about what the words are you looking at the Constitution of the United States? Is it a text
Oh, it's text
exchange?
messages between me and my husband.
And what number is the exhibit? That'll be on the front page, very front page,
15,
very front page.
wait. No,
Mr. Terry,
Mhm.
that document, what's on the very front page is an exhibit
Oh,
number.
it's exhibit 15.
15, thank you.
it's 15.
That's already in evidence.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, I don't know why it was here, but, okay. In the last page of that document towards the bottom, and I'm sorry, let me publish it real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. He would consistently say that he was the one that abused me. He would consistently say, I'm the abuser. I'm abusing you for real, and you need to get away from me. And he would be very like, he would look at himself and say, I mean, I'm really doing this to you. I'm seriously abusing you, dude. And I'd be like, well, that's not good, because I don't want you to like leave. I love you. Please stop abusing me. You know, like, please don't be mean to me.
Okay, so starting here at the top of the last page, I believe, it's your husband talking about how Jesus has, this is written in 2022, December of 2022, and I believe you had taken a trip to go visit your father.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about Christmas, and there's some discussions about getting.
Judge, the jurors can't see the text.
Needs to be a little bigger?
Yes.
All right, let's make that bigger.
All of them bigger.
We'll work on it.
I'm just really so bad at this PDF stuff, and now they move, an AI moves them, so I'm not the
Let's
best
not
at
blame
it.
AI. Let's just blame you. Just magnify, hit that little magnifying glass.
Okay.
That one. Nope, so you keep going down, go
No,
up.
I'm literally clicking minus and plus.
Right, don't click minus, only click plus.
All right. But then that's too much plus.
It's not too much plus. You're gonna scroll, it needs more plus. Give us more plus.
Let me go up. Okay. All right. All right, so I guess he's being a bit.
More plus.
Can you?
Closer?
Yeah, you there.
There.
Okay.
And then just scroll where you need to scroll.
Okay.
So Mr. Piner is again, I'm gonna call it the white bubbles and you are the gray bubbles. Is that correct, Mr. Terry?
Yeah, I'm the
Okay.
gray button.
All right. What are the questions you got, Mr. Polanco, for what's on the
Okay.
screen here?
So in this conversation, which is talking about the religious aspect, the second point that I was trying to make, right? Your husband is writing you while you're in Arkansas, kind of like how we got married on Christmas before the pandemic. Now that it's over, we should get divorced of this unrighteous ideation and yoke ourselves to Jesus instead of each other and live our lives from this point on separate and the way God originally planned. So when you receive these text messages, was your understanding that your husband was being sarcastic, that he was throwing back words at you that you had used after your mother died and had found religious conversion? Or was that he was going through some sort of ideation and sort of, I guess ideation would be one way, and sort of having difficult, I'm not sure. What was your interpretation of it?
I never really knew what he was doing when he was writing this stuff to me. I was taking it seriously, but I also was like, whoa, that's really harsh and crazy and wild, and it makes me feel not so great to read. But I also love you, and it's good you can use your words to vent at me. But I always didn't want to take him that seriously. I felt like if I took him seriously, then it would get worse. So I would kind of be reading it, and it would kind of make my tummy go ooh, that's not really all that great. But then I was like, but maybe he's trying to be funny. Maybe he's just joking. But also there was a feeling in my head, maybe he's not. And, maybe I I don't know what parts are really serious. Cause he says, he's shown me I don't need sex and I don't need affection, and needing it just hurts the person you're abusing more. In my world, it's but we do have sex, but we sometimes after my mama passed away, there were moments where I didn't really feel like doing sex, but then it never ended. It was well, remember that one time that you said no to me one time? That means that you don't want to have sex at all anymore. But then the next day it would be so I'm in the mood to have sex now. And I'd be oh, well, cool. But then the next day it was you can't have sex because of Jesus. And
Okay.
that one time, so I didn't really ever know what was happening.
Final questions. Your personal belongings that were taken during the biohazard removal, those go to you? Yes or no?
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yes.
The dog?
100%. I mean, seriously, that's my lifeline. And I don't know what all that stuff about how I would ever hurt my own puppy dog, which I literally have dedicated this entire time to make sure he was protected and loved and seriously made into the most happiest puppy. He is the happiest puppy around. The most, if we brought Sozo in here, as soon as he saw me,
Judge, I'm gonna
he would
object to
explode.
narrative.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry.
Next question.
The,
But yes,
last
puppy dog.
question.
Yes,
The
I would love my puppy
the
dog.
name Zozos.
Sozo.
What is the meaning of the origin of that word?
So it means salvation, saved, not only just saved, but healed and taken care of and made to prosper. It's such a big word. It's it's what Jesus said whenever he was walking around saying, your faith has sozoed you, or your faith has healed you and made you whole. And that's what I wanted to do for Sozo, because it was just every day, the puppy dog's a really cool puppy dog. He's the way that we do the little cuddle and the huggle is
Objection narrative.
Thank you, Mr. Terry. The Nissan 370 is in Ohio, so there's nothing this court can do about this. The Prius, where is that going?
Yeah, well, right now I don't have a car. So I don't know if if there's some money that winds up if we can half the car or whatever, to where he can have a little bit of a lesser awesome car or something, and I get a car. That way, whenever I get this daggone thing out, I can actually go out and have a real job easily, because I'm used to driving. And right now I have to drive Nana's car, and that she has a heart problem, and she's old now. She's getting really old, and she's nervous.
So, but back to you think you have a claim to the Prius, at least in part. And so you think the Prius should be included in the marital estate, and the jury would decide how they divide that up, whether they order that it be sold, and if it is actually worth something beyond its note, how those proceeds are divided between the two of you.
Yeah, like just something that's fair, because I would like the same level of like life living that I had when I was living a very normal life with David, that was not, there was no craziness. There was no like, I'm gonna stab you in the middle of the night vibe. It was, I just randomly got thrown out of my own house and didn't even know.
Objection narrative.
For how many years?
For how many years?
Yes, I agree.
Uh,
For how many years, what?
The alimony, is it 1, 2, or 3?
oh,
He already answered
I
that.
would like the jury to decide, like, I want fair, you know, like if it's 3 or if it's 1, if it's 2,000, 1,500, if it's just something that's fair, something that makes me,
Okay,
he can still vibe. He buys like Louis Vuitton, Burberry and stuff anyways with money.
Next question.
the banks and the IRAs, how much did you want per month?
From like his,
Per month, the amount.
I said that, didn't I? Like the jury could decide like whatever would be fair, like 2,000, 1,500. If it's, like I'm nervous about the 1,000 thing to ask, because I think that like 1,500 might be like the good like little vibe for me to get back on my feet, because it'd allow me to like feel like I'm getting a amount that I would normally like see in my life whenever I would hang around David. You know,
Okay.
like I would be able to get food. I wouldn't be able to have to like, I could just make it through, or just eat. I mean, just whatever the jury feels like is fair, because I'm in a position right now where I'm fully having to like just ask my family to please help. And I was supposed to be married in a committed relationship.
Objection narrative.
Do you feel that divorce should be granted on grounds of cruelty?
Yes, I have gotten crueltied. I mean, this is a big deal, crueltied. Like, and I love David, and I think he's super duper sweet and super duper awesome, because I see him in an unconditional love vibe. But what he did to me was really bad. It was horrible and scary. And honestly, him trying to take my dog is what really caused me to be able to fight it and be here right now. Because had it said I had my dog, I think I'd just be like, well, okay. But since he was going to also take the puppy dog, I had to figure out a way to get a lawyer. I had to figure out a way to fight for my puppy dog, because like that is like, I couldn't imagine my poor puppy dog not having his, it doesn't make any sense. Like I couldn't, David knows he's my dog. He knows.
Objection narrative.
Thank you. No, it's fine. Those are all the questions that I have, Mr. Terry, but Ms. Yarber may have some questions for you, okay?
All right, Ms. Yarber, your witness.
Judge, would you like for me to, I know we're closely approaching 5. The last thing will be my cross, and then I guess clean up and closing.
We've got lots of time left today, so why don't you get started?
Okay. Mr. Terry, you stated that you recently turned 32?
Yes.
Okay, and you're physically healthy, correct?
Yeah, I seem to be doing all right.
Okay, do you have any diagnosed physical disability that prevents you from working?
No, I was on disability for quite some time. And I'm, but I don't have like a physical ailment to where I couldn't walk. Right now, I can't leave the house, which is a pretty big deal, but I don't have like a physical.
Okay, and you have no diagnosed mental disability that prevents you from working, correct?
I don't believe so. I don't like,
Just, do you have a diagnosis from a doctor that says you have a mental disability? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, did you graduate high school?
I had to get a GED.
Okay, did you go to college or have some college education or no?
Mhm.
Are you able to read and write?
Yes, well, yes,
Okay. And are you able to use a computer?
yes,
Okay. And you testified earlier that you used to do some Ubering, so you're able to drive a car, correct?
yes, whenever I have a car.
Do you have a driver's license from Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. I want to turn your attention to D9, which is what your attorney showed the court. So give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen and pull it up. Share, D9. Okay. Jurors, can you all see that? Okay, so in terms of your, I'm assuming this is a copy of your resume. In terms of your professional experience, you listed personal assistant 2017 to present. You listed customer service and online community outreach that ended in 2017, correct? You also listed content writer from 2012 to 2014, is that correct?
Mhm.
And then gaming and content developer from 2010 to 2012, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so everything that's listed on your resume seems to have conveniently ended right at the time that you were marrying my client, Mr. Piner, correct?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Do you have an updated resume?
No, because this was what David decided to work with me on to make. We
Okay.
made this resume together.
Okay, so all of the years of work that you previously did before getting with Mr. Piner conveniently stopped. So your intention or was that you were going to use Mr. Piner for money? Is that correct?
No, definitely not going to use Mr. Piner for money. I'm going to support him making more money.
Okay,
I'm going to support him, and I'm going to be the house maker, the homemaker. I'm going to be making sure that he doesn't have any stress and can whenever he needs some food or whenever he needs a drink, literally a drink. Like if he says I'm thirsty, I get him every soda. Like it's come on, Chris, soda time. Come on, Chris, soda time.
okay, let's move on. So you also you've mentioned to the court, you're currently on house arrest, correct? And when does that end?
Honestly, I don't really know. This is a crazy case.
So you don't know what it ends, got it. So you're on house arrest.
Stop, don't talk over each other. And I know you're trying to get through this. He
Correct.
needs a chance to explain his answers if it's something beyond a yes or no or 5, whatever the answer may be.
Understood.
Yeah, so right now, I don't really know when I'm going to go to court next. I've been just sitting here at Nana's house, and I mean, I would have already done my best to have, I would have walked down to Wendy's or something like that, and I would have done a little Wendy's thing, or I would have went to CVS or whichever, and I would have started working there. But right now, I just have to sit at home and not do anything. Basically,
Okay.
I have to just sit.
Okay. You're requesting, for lack of better words, custody of the dog, correct?
I mean, it is my dog.
Are you requesting to have the dog?
Yes, 100%.
How do you plan to walk the dog if you're on house arrest?
I have my brother there. I have Nana there, which she sometimes goes out for walks and things like that. It would be very, very simple for, they've actually been wanting to get a puppy dog. And David, before he did all this, told me, guaranteed I get the dog. I get to go take the dog over
Well,
to Dad's house.
Mr. Terry, the only thing I asked you was how you were planning to walk the dog if you were to get it
Oh,
while you're on house arrest.
And it sounds like you'd rely on people in that household.
and
until you-
they're down for that because they're looking for a dog.
Okay.
They want to have the exercise and they want to walk the dog.
Okay.
Mr. Piner, my client, has had the dog since you were incarcerated in August of 2025, correct?
Yeah, I'd hope so that he's still there.
And that the house arrest that you're currently on is a result of a criminal conviction for actions against my client, correct?
Objection, misstatement of facts. Misstatement of testimony.
Conviction is a little ahead of things.
Okay. does the house arrest stem from a case that is currently pending between yourself and Mr. Piner?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Okay. There's also currently a protective order in place, protecting my client from you, correct?
Seems like for some reason he feels the need to have something like that from someone like me.
So there is one in place, correct?
Is there one right now?
So you don't get to ask her questions, but so the question is there a protective order in place?
Oh, yeah, from my idea, it was ending on July 31st of 2026.
Okay.
But that's my understanding is that it ended on July 31st.
Okay. You were present in court yesterday, when we presented the evidence about the hearing that's taking place and extending it until September 15th, correct?
Yes, now you just jogged my memory. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
You were incarcerated maybe around 8 months last year. How much was your bond?
Yeah, it was like $14,000 or something like that. I got messed up, and when I first got there, the lady didn't have time to really get to me because I guess my last name was the last one. So she said, I'll get you on the next one. And
But the bond amount you think is 14,000?
actually, yeah, I do actually think it was like exactly that number.
Okay.
Who paid that fee on behalf of you?
It was a mixture between my Nana and my dad had to put it together, had to do their absolute best to try to figure out what in the world they're going to do to try to get me out of jail. I was really, really hoping it just to be like a dissolved or something,
Okay.
because it's obvious I'm not going to do nothing crazy or nothing.
So your Nana and your dad paid the amount. You're aware that you can have a work permit and also have employment while on house arrest, correct?
When you say that, what do you mean?
Are you aware that you can work while you're on house arrest?
How?
So you're not aware? In your testimony with your attorney, one of the things you kept mentioning was that my client, Mr. Piner, would slap himself in the face and also punch himself in the face, correct?
Mhm.
Did you ever record any of this?
I would not want to witness it.
Okay,
No,
that's not something that you think you would need to record?
I honestly do not like the idea of doing that kind of stuff because I wasn't expecting ever to leave him. I was expecting us to be like a team together. So I don't want to like sit there and be like trying to get evidence for one day, something that I don't expect to happen. I feel like by doing that, it would cause that to become more of a reality. And I would not want that to be a thing that would be, and I definitely am not going to sit there while he's doing it with just a phone going, look at me, I'm recording you. I wouldn't do that to David.
So you haven't held a real job during the entire 8 years of marriage, correct?
I did do like the little DoorDash thing, and the Postmates. I also did this little thing, it was like a tarot card thing, though not that much. It was a little tarot card, like YouTube thing where I would do things for people, like little readings and stuff. It's kind of fun to tell them that everything's going to go good for them and stuff. It's fun.
The resume that you presented into evidence, what employers did you submit that resume to?
It was probably just like Indeed, or it was like some kind of thing where you just send it to them and then they put it on certain places and then you get certain people to reach out to you and things like that. I don't think I sent it to a direct employer. But me and David both, we worked on it together. So David would have been the person they called to say, hey, how good of an employee is he? Because I was working for David. I was doing all this stuff, with for David and stuff.
Okay, so you've described yourself as a house husband, correct?
Yeah, like a homemaker.
Okay, so you stated earlier that you did all the grocery shopping,
Yes.
Food shopping. You said that you made David's phone calls.
Yes.
And you said that any money that you made went into David's bank account.
Yes.
including all of your Uber money,
Yes.
and you are not aware of how much it was. When you set up your Uber account, was the account in your name or David's name?
It was my name.
Okay. And you wired or you asked the app to send your direct deposit for the funds to Mr. Piner's account?
It seems like it must have been into a joint account of ours, but it's not like I ever opened up that account and like took any of my own money out of it. Not even one time. I didn't even like, I never once got the money, because as soon as I did, I was like, yes, I was like, I'm contributing. I thought like, that's cool. Like, I'm like contributing the house thing now. David's gonna be really happy. Like I like the idea of me getting like gifts for David with my own money, or like the idea of that sounds cool. Because I have actually lived a life where David makes the money and I do a lot of the support. I'm always supporting him. I go even to his work dinners and things like that and talk about how cool he is and how awesome he is and how happy I am that I'm with him. And his own work people see us as like a super cool team.
Okay.
We're like a team together.
Thank you. Thank you for that. You have described yourself as a house husband and taking care of the home while Mr. Piner worked. I'm going to show you what was entered into evidence yesterday. It is Petitioner's Exhibit 3. I'm going to share my screen. Do you recall seeing this image of you all's home yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. So what about this?
Screen in front of you, is it not showing the same picture, Mr. Terry? So you don't have to look around the corner?
Oh, I'm sorry. This says the host has spotlighted your video for everyone. Would you like, I can't really see it.
And so is there a button you can press to make that go away?
Do I say unmute or stay muted?
Stay muted. There.
There we go.
Excellent.
All right.
Mr. Terry, what about this photo signifies that you are a homemaker and you take care of the house?
You know, well, in terms of this particular situation, yes, there is times where I would get behind on it, though this was a house that we wound up living in for like 9 years. And so things, especially after Mama passed away, things started piling up and just becoming like a thing where me and David just were just vibing in here. It wasn't like we were going to move very, very soon. And so really, even the stuff I was starting to clean in this particular place, it was like getting stuff packed up in moving boxes and stuff. Like we were about to leave.
I need you to define a word for me that you've used a lot. Vibing. When someone's vibing, tell me what that means they're doing.
Okay, yeah. So whenever we're in the house, like David does not clean, not even an iota. Like there's like no cleaning that David does at all. So I do all of the cleaning. And by like the idea that David just kind of chills out and sits in his room and just plays on the computer and doesn't do anything, that this does look, it's like kind of just like all over the place and stuff, but there wasn't really, I mean, and two, really this particular.
So my question was, what does vibing mean? Does it mean make the kitchen messy?
No, we're just living in it, and we realize that one day here soon, it's gonna get all put in moving boxes and stuff. We're just we're like just living in it.
Vibing means living in it.
We're just living.
Okay.
Okay.
But your sworn testimony was that you take care of the home and you clean.
Yes.
Was it
and
not?
Now, yes, and I want to say that that particular picture of the kitchen is not the state that it was left in when I got removed out of the house.
Okay. Do you have pictures to show to the jury of the state the home was in when you left the home?
I have like videos of me cooking stuff on July 4th and July 7th in a clean kitchen. And it did not look like that. Because I had actually cleaned the kitchen up. I was in the process of getting the whole entire house like looking nice and fun, because we were in the process of really making progress and moving in the thing. We were thinking about getting someone to come in and actually clean up the house, but it was because it was getting kind of stacked up or whichever, because I was consistently just all the time going and doing chores. So by homemaker, by the way.
Yeah. What chores were you doing, and how
Yes.
can you prove that you did any chores?
So I did all the shopping, like in terms of our groceries. I did all of the food deliveries. I wound up doing, and it was multiple times a day. Like I was always out getting food for David so I could bring it back home for him. I was consistently calling anyone that he needs to be called on the phone. And it was like, that was kind of stressful because I had to actually say, hi, I'm David Piner. Like he didn't want to do any phone calls. So I had to like keep asking him, hey, what is this? And how am I supposed to say this? And it was quite stressful. And then I also was the only person that took care of the puppy dog. Like David did not take care of the puppy dog at all. There was not a single thing David did while I was there that the puppy dog wouldn't even be around him. The puppy dog I would have to, in order for him to have the puppy dog around him, I had to be right next to him, constantly being like, it's okay, puppy. It's okay, puppy.
Okay, thank you for that. Mr. Terry, in terms of work that you did during the marriage, you testified, you said that you would do one long DoorDash trip and say, woo, that was a lot, and I quote, and then not do anymore. Do you recall saying that?
That day, not anymore, but in that particular day, I would go out and get Wendy's and come back. Then I would go take the dog out. Then I would come back. Then I would get back in the car and then go back out again. Then I would come back. Then if I wound up being like, all right, I'm going to go do DoorDash. And let's say the DoorDash was around 4 or 5 o'clock. So it was like with traffic and everything, it would be like this long period of time, like 45 minutes. And then by the time I wound up getting back from that particular little DoorDash thing, it was like, I was like, whew, I'm going to chill out for a little tiny bit because I've been up ever since getting Wendy's early this morning. And
So you just stated, you would do a lot of running around for the household, and then the DoorDash trip could have ran you about 45 minutes. I mean, that you would consider that a long trip.
yeah, like a long DoorDash order.
Okay.
It would be like, yeah, because sometimes these people in these big mansions and you would have to go through all of these winding roads and all this crazy stuff. And it was like a, it was a long dealio.
Okay, you're aware that regular people work more than one DoorDash trip here and there.
Of
Correct.
course, yes. Oh, of course.
Okay,
And
and you're aware that regular people work more than 45 minutes a day, correct?
oh, of course, but all these other things that I was doing was, I mean, like all the times that I was actually working and trying to get everything settled. I mean, I really didn't actually have time to clean up the cans that, like David would leave around and stuff like that. Like we also were up in this really high apartment. It was a bunch of stairs, and I had to get these big giant 48-pack Coca-Colas from Costco, and we would get like 4 of them at a time, things like that. And it would also be the next day I would get like a bunch of water. The next day I would get more of the drinks, but it would be like a different kind instead of like Coke Zero. It would be, and so I would be going up these things, and I'm not the biggest person. I'm really tiny. Whenever I got booked into the little jail thing, I think I was like 109 pounds. I was really tiny.
Mr. Terry, I'm gonna move on to the next question if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Okay. You are under the belief that you're entitled to Mr. Piner's income, correct?
I believe that I have supported and assisted him to get through his life to where he's able to make that income. And so now I need to have like some help to where I can get even a normal thing, because I honestly am from like literally like the square one. I mean, it's very easy to be able just to say, you get nothing, you leave, bye, goodbye. But in terms of the way that I was told by David the whole entire time, he verbally kept letting me understand that like, we're in this together, you don't have to work. But then he would get upset, and then he would say like, what are you doing here?
Mr. Terry, the question was if you believe that you were entitled to Mr. Piner's income, and I believe you've answered that.
What does that mean? Like not his entire income, but I assisted him to be able to get the income that he did. So
Do you believe that you deserve to be rewarded for being married to David?
David was very rewarded for being married to me. Like really, really a lot.
Okay, you claimed, or your counsel claimed, on your behalf that Mr. Piner maybe got rid of some money during the marriage. Is that correct?
Yes, it did seem like he was by the end of that like July, so a couple months beforehand, all of a sudden all the cards wind up not working. he wound up having like $20,000 here. He wound up having $7,000 over here, $8,000 over here.
Mr. Terry, what evidence and proof did you bring to the court showing these numbers to show to the jury?
Yeah, I don't know if Carlos has any of the little text messages he sent me of his little account where it said 20,000 or account that's 8,000 or 7,000 or whichever, but there was messages that he had messaged me saying, okay, look at what I'm getting out. And he let me know that this stuff was for us. Like he was gonna wind up, this was not like a thing that was just for him.
Okay.
But then all of a sudden,
I'm gonna move on to the next question because you answered that one. Thank you. You claimed that your Social Security was deposited directly into David's account.
I believe, I don't know, like for me, like I never actually this entire relationship ever had like my own bank account.
So you have no idea where your Social Security funds were going? The $800 you were receiving every month, what account was it deposited
It was
into?
going to Dave.
Okay, why is that?
Because I was like contributing with that into the household to where that would be my contribution.
Did you bring any bank statements showing the proof of the monthly SSI going into David's account or into a joint account?
Yeah, back then I really never opened up like a bank thing. I don't even think I even like opened it up and even looked inside of the bank app and stuff like that. I know for a fact it got deposited every month and I never saw any of the cash money or whichever else. Though, we did everything together.
Do you file taxes?
Huh?
Do you file taxes?
No.
Okay, you never have?
Well, whenever I was with him, he would be the one that did that.
Okay.
Would you ever sign the tax returns as well? Because people can file married filing jointly, in which case Mr. Piner would sign it and you would sign it as well.
I'm sure that's exactly what I did.
Okay.
I don't believe that your counsel admitted this into evidence, but I'm going to hand you a copy of your financial affidavit
Mhm.
that you filled out.
Thank you.
Judge, I'm going to need a second because it's on the flash drive. I don't believe it's in the exhibits.
Do you want to give it a number?
I would like to give it a number. I would probably call it P16.
All right, 16 it is. And you're familiar with this, I guess, because you helped generate it, Mr. Polanco?
Yes.
Okay, no
But
objection.
I don't have it in a digital version either.
Okay, well, we're about to,
Kind of trying to see if it was on the flash drive that counsel provided to me.
oh,
Oh, no, because no, well, yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
okay.
I'm going to share my screen.
So you said 16?
P16, I
Yeah.
would like to admit it as that.
Okay, any objection?
No.
Okay, so, Mr. Terry, is this your domestic relations financial affidavit, something that you have to fill out for the court in order to explain your income and your expenses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it says you're listed here, you're 31. You probably were at the time that you completed this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for your gross monthly income, you put 0 right here. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Scrolling down, we're going to see several zeros. Tips, fees, personal income from anywhere else. Any assets that you have, you put 0 for all of your assets. So cash,
No,
stocks, bonds, CDCs, retirement, etc.
none of that stuff.
Furniture and furnishings, you put about $2,000 worth, as well as jewelry and collectibles and clothing.
Mhm.
Is that just your general assessment of your personal items?
Yes, because, well, I don't really know exactly what is in the storage building yet. I do know that I have a bunch of things that I inherited from my mama that was left over there at David's house and hopefully was not thrown away because of PP on it or whichever that was happening. So I pray to God that I have some of the little vases and stuff, the really pretty Japanese vases and stuff. And I have a it's a Vitamix blender that and I also have these Apple Home Pods. There's a like a blue laptop. There's an Oculus Quest 3. You know, there's a lot of items that I would say is part of that 7,000 asset. Almost like a lot of my jewelry got stolen. A lot
Understood.
of my nice designer, my poor Gucci bag got stolen. You know,
But this set of figures here would not include that. So when you were thinking of, what I still have is worth 7,000, that doesn't include the things that got stolen.
Yeah, this does not include the stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
the Gucci bag was like the $2,000 right there. You know?
Now,
Okay.
Mr. Terry, thank you for that explanation. A few minutes ago, when you were answering questions from your counsel, you stated that you needed money for bills, including car, insurance, et cetera. However, on your average monthly expenses, you did not list any expenses.
Yeah, so right now, like I'm having to live with Nana. So here soon, once I wound up, you know, like getting everything, I mean, obviously I'm gonna have like I'm gonna go get like a house or whatever it is, you know, like a rent. I'm gonna rent in a place, you know, I'm gonna start living my life. And so right now, yeah, my Nana isn't like paying, you know, isn't requiring me to pay, but really in terms of the expectation of what I should be putting into this, you know, this should be, you know, like something, but to me, whenever I read it, to me, it seemed like since Nana isn't requiring it right now, that I wouldn't put any, but like the charge of me being there, I just don't have the money to be able to pay it. And like she
Understood.
isn't gonna evict me
Yeah,
if I
understood.
don't pay.
So based on your financial affidavit with the several zeros, you can't even afford to keep your dog and take care of him, can you?
Yes, I sure can.
How will you do that with no money?
Well, I'm there with my Nana and with Chad, and I got my dad, and my dad is gung ho, super duper serious about Sozo having like his actual rightful owner. You know, I mean, like everyone in my family is just like, what in the world? Your dog? Like, why would this happen? How is this even possible? You know, like, and I don't know how it's possible. I honestly, it's shocked me to the absolute core. I don't know how that is not a thing. I don't know how I don't have Sozo right now.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. So yes, 100% I would be able to afford it because I would have anything that the dog would
Additional help
want.
from your family.
100%.
Understood. Thank you. You also stated that you believe that David may have filed the divorce because you were working on leaving.
Mhm.
What were you doing in order to put yourself in a position to be able to leave David? You said that you were working on leaving. What does that mean?
Yeah. So basically, whenever we were having conversations and things, he was even saying like, when you go, here's the deal, when you can go over to your dad's house, you get Sozo. He said, you can, anything in this house or whichever, you know, just pick whatever you'd like or whatever, like we're gonna, you know, and I was starting to go like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I guess we could just play video games together now or whichever else. But whenever he was like saying, but you need to go like, you know, like go, you know, I was like, no, we're not. I mean, I'm in the process of doing it, but like, I can't just like run out thing. I gotta pack. I gotta do all this stuff. And I wasn't even able to do it by the time I got thrown out. Like I was literally like we were like in the process of it actually going on. Like it was just a couple of days where he let me know that I get to have my doggy, I get to have the car, that I get to have the stuff I would like around the house. That he even said to the the police officer that came in, that everything in this house, there's a body camera.
Mr. Terry, the question was, what were you doing to prepare yourself to sustain yourself outside of Mr. Piner? That was the question.
Yeah, so I was in the process of, and two, I would have started selling my stuff. Like I would have started, I would have got my stuff put in the car and stuff like that. I would have went over to my dad's house, and he would have done what my grandparents are having to do right now.
Your dad lives in what
Arkansas.
city? In Arkansas.
Hot
Oh,
Springs, Arkansas.
okay, so it's not, when you say head over to, that's all the way to Arkansas.
Yeah, it would have been pretty of a far
Okay.
way. I told David that I would have to put my stuff in right now to be able to get over to my dad's house, and I would come back to go get Sozo. I couldn't just like throw Sozo in the car and just go over there. I need to go up there real fast, put my stuff in the house, and then come back and get Sozo and put him in the little puppy containment device, little puppy containment center in the back, and then bring Sozo up there, because I would have literally have had to take the 370, and there's not enough space for me to have. So I needed to get a good amount, go over there, tell Dad, hey, I'm going to be here for a while, but like.
You were making arrangements to move back in with your father.
Mhm.
Understood. You stated earlier that, or it came out at some point during this trial that your attorney is representing you free of charge. Is that correct?
Right now, yes.
How did you all come to that arrangement?
Well, basically, everybody at this jail were blown away that I was there. Like, I was like a person who was like, I got sexually assaulted in the jail.
Mr. Terry, I'd
I
like
got-
for you to stay on track with answering the question about your arrangement
They
with
couldn't
your
believe I
attorney
was
for
there.
payment.
Yeah, so basically, I became kind of like, people started like trying to protect me because I was completely not cut out for this at all. Like, I consistently was.
So how does that get us to Mr.
Oh,
Polanco
yes,
saying,
one
I'll
of the-
handle the family part of your case free?
Yeah, because one of the people that were trying their best to keep me alive, because I was getting hurt, they said, okay, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here, because your public defender isn't doing anything. You're getting literally served a divorce where the guy is saying he's just taking everything, including your dog. And I was very, very, I couldn't handle, like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what to do. And when the guy was like, okay, you know what? I got an idea. I have a lawyer. He's a real cool guy. Call him up and explain your situation. And hopefully we can get you some kind of support to where you're able to have a fighting chance at getting like something, like especially your puppy dog. And they knew how authentic it was, because I love David. Like I love watching.
Mr. Terry, can
But
you?
that was Mr. Polanco that this person connected you to?
I called him on the phone, and he actually came the next day, and he saw me, and I explained my whole heart, my whole situation. I was just like absolutely blown away. I was like, help. And seriously, I need help. But like, I don't know what to do. We'll pay you what we can when we can. But like right now, I'm just like, I don't even know why I'm here. I was blown away. I was like, this is crazy. And I don't know what to do.
So is your testimony that your attorney felt sympathy for you and took your case free of charge?
Yeah, I only did, we paid him a little bit because Nana wanted to try to help out a little bit, but it was, the way that he was doing it was like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. And you know what, if you can't, he was doing his best to help out as much as he can. And he's consistently being very kind to my grandmother, saying, you know what, you're going through a lot right now.
Do you know how much Nana has, if you don't mind me calling her that, do you
You-
know
you
how
can
much
call.
Nana has paid your attorney?
I don't remember what the first amount was that she wound up paying, but then she sent a second amount. So it might have been like, she might have like sent maybe like 500. And then it was like 200, but that's all.
Okay. And you specifically requested a jury trial in this case, correct?
Yes, because I feel like this needs to be heard by people that are like people, like my peers and stuff that like have experienced life.
As opposed to a judge.
I just feel like it's like,
Right.
it's really, really nice to know that like there's other people that can hear what I've wound up going through, because I just feel like it's the right thing to do, because it's such a crazy thing. It's like a wild case. It's like a what the heck happened here? And I feel like this is what you would use a jury trial for, because it's so out there. It's like, what the heck? And that's why I trust the people. Like, I really do. I think it's great to have people here that are able to listen to what actually was going on from perspectives. And I know what happened to me. I know I wound up I got sent to that one place, the jail, whatever it's called, Rice Street. That was so scary. People had shanks,
Okay.
everything. I was not able to
Next
handle.
question.
Mr. Terry, yesterday, while my client was testifying pertaining to some of the abuse he alleges that he suffered at your hands,
Mhm.
you started smiling and giggling when he was referring to the destruction of the CPAP machine.
Okay.
What did you think was funny about that?
I don't really know why. I don't know about maybe shock or like awe, because for me, like, he says this too, whenever I go through really big emotions or whichever, and they're like, whenever I'm shocked, I might seem like I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's a thing that happens where I like go like, oh my, like because like I know for a fact, like that particular CPAP machine needed to get repaired. It got repaired, not broken. Whenever he's talked about,
Well, Mr.
needs-
Terry, the question was to explain the smiling and giggling, not to
I don't
explain
know
the
about,
CPAP machine.
there's nothing to giggle about being falsely accused of destroying a CPAP machine. But
Okay.
what I did was out of shock and out of like, whoa, this is actually happening. The guy I love is literally actually doing this.
Okay. Couple more questions. I would like to know what your parents did for a living. And my condolences to your mother, but I would like to know what your parents did for a living.
So we've got Nana, which she was a housewife. Papa, which did Delta Airlines. He was a manager there for a while. He ran the Savannah Airport. And he's passed.
Those are grandparents?
Yeah.
Okay, but your parents, so your father who's in Hot Springs.
Dad does pumps, like wastewater treatment plant pumps. He's like an engineer, and he used to be in the military. So was Papa, everything in the Navy. We're like a little Navy family. And is there anyone else that would be? So
Your
yes,
mother who passed, what did
my
she do when
mother
she?
was an insurance salesman. And she also wound up transitioning once she had me to more of like the baby, the helping the baby in the house and stuff like that.
Are you older than Chat, your
Yes.
brother? You're the oldest?
Yes. Actually,
What does your brother do?
right now he does this little thing where he like reviews he looks at videos online or whichever he does, and he does like these little tasks and stuff. And he was able to get into that particular thing a little while back, and he like does a survey, or like it's some kind of something where he doesn't have to do anything, but like it's like I don't really know how to explain it. It's like a little thing. He watches videos.
Does he get paid?
Yeah, he gets paid every, but it's not very much, but he does get paid a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Judge, I think I'm done.
Mr. Polanco, do you have any redirect for Mr. Terry?
Those are few questions and no more than three.
I'll count.
Mr. Terry, since you met David, a couple of years ago, several years ago, you say that you haven't had any bank accounts. Who's made the purchases throughout these years?
So David winds up making it's his cards, it's his whichever. Now, there is a thing where like he signed me up for like credit cards or with certain things like that, and so then we would decide like what gets put on that or whichever else. But there is, in terms of like who makes the purchases, there's times where like I'll have his card, and so I'll go out there and I'll pay for our thing,
But the accounts aren't not in your name.
no, the account's not.
Have you had any single card under your name since 2010?
I believe that he has gotten me cards that have my like my name on it, but to me it just looked like another card for David's account.
So you might be an authorized user to a bank account that he manages?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's technically number 3, but that was a follow-up on 2. So question
Oh,
3.
sorry.
It's all right.
Yes, and so can I add 3 more? With respect to the payments that your grandmother may have made me, just to be super clear, because there's 2 different things going on here. There's a criminal case regarding TPOs,
Right.
ankle monitors, going to jail. Was that what your grandmother hired me to do? Okay.
Yes, and
And
that's
that-
what she paid you for. This is completely free. This is
Okay.
because he.
All right, so
knows
then
the
you're
subject.
also dealing with a divorce case, or you're dealing with 2 different things, a divorce case and a criminal case in which you have pending allegations of aggravated stalking in your own home.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. All right, so that's what we're referring to there. Okay.
I wish we wouldn't have had to do this. but I-
There's not a question right now, so just wait. He's going to ask question number 3 now.
Or I may call it early, but, yep, I think I will. I think that's it.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for you to do what you did with Mr. Piner, should you choose to, which would be to write down any questions you have. It worked well. I could read almost everyone's handwriting. One of you did stray a little bit right on the back of the card. Try to only write on one side of the card, please. He gets paid too much. Wow, one of you had a lot of questions. Fortunately, it's good handwriting. Okay, more. Okay. All right, so take your time, write carefully. Okay. Wow, it's just suddenly, it's not just one more. Okay, the lawyers and I need to look over these and then we'll come back in and handling it the way as before. I know we're bumping up against 5. Are you guys, we're gonna stop after this. We'll excuse Mr. Terry. We'll talk a little bit about how tomorrow's gonna go. Is there anyone who can't be here for about 10 more minutes? No? Okay. That's the plan. Lawyers? Out here, please.
What's that? I can wait together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Terry,
Hi.
hey, you saw, photos of a 10 by 10 storage unit that is chock full of things that, Mr. Piner said belong to you, and I think you've acknowledged a lot of what's in there belongs to you. Where, if you weren't working, did you get the money to buy all those things in that storage unit?
A lot of the stuff in there is, I mean, I got a lot of stuff from Mama. I mean, I basically inherited all of her stuff. In terms of Nana's got a storage building full of her own stuff, and she really didn't have very much to put it. So when we see that giant hoarder thing inside of our house, I mean, it was just chock full of Mama's stuff. I mean, we didn't really have anywhere to put it or whichever, and we didn't feel like paying the $100 and $200 worth of a month so we just sort of kind of put it up there. We stacked it up. And I mean, it was all my like baby stuff and Mama had a bunch of stuff. You know?
Okay, so while Mr. Piner might be saying that's your stuff, you're explaining to the jury, yes, but it's what I inherited from your mom and not you were buying it over the course of your time with Mr. Piner.
Yeah, and there were some things there, obviously. I mean, it's not like I didn't buy anything, but there's just there. I've inherited so much stuff from Mama, and it was in all those things that you see there. Those little plastic bins and stuff. You know?
Okay. Sozo, you said was not free. Sozo, you had to pay money for. Where did the money come from for the purchase of Sozo?
That was actually my money. So it was money that I got from Christmas. It was money that I got from a birthday. Because I even decided to get the doggy on the birthday. I think it was birthday whenever I was over at Nana's house. I actually was calling and I had about $300 and I was like, that'll be good enough. I'll wind up getting my puppy dog. It was obviously my puppy dog. It was
Where,
like
if you had no accounts, did you keep this $300?
Honestly, I honestly think it was just because Nana just loves giving me cash. But I think that we wind up putting it inside of David's account. It was like I think it was in the SunTrust account, and I wound up going to Ohio, and we wound up getting well, I mean, it was David wasn't there, I was there, and I fully set it all up. I mean, I set up everything, like I did everything.
Have you ever lived on your own? Just you in a house, apartment?
No. I don't know.
Did any, pardon me?
I was 16 years old. Yeah, I've always lived with David.
So it was family and then David?
Yeah.
Okay. Did any friends or family members ever see David hit himself or do harm to himself? You described how he would sometimes get into that mode.
Now, I know that he did do it at Nana's house, but I don't think she ever, it's not like he like walked around the house doing it. I know that whenever my brother was over at our house, he did this really loud screeching scream inside of his room.
Brother or Mr. Piner?
Mr. Piner did a crazy scream, so I don't know if that was him hurting himself or pinching himself, but my brother did hear this, I mean, ear-piercing coming from the bedroom, and we're still not really sure what he did or why he did this huge blood-curdled scream inside of the room in there.
Got it. Tell the jurors as best you can what you believe the basis is for you having received SSDI. They don't just hand it out. There is a diagnosis for something. So tell the jury what you think that diagnosis is.
It might have been like a thing of like the autism and ADHD together, like a ADHD or something like that. I know that David told me the reason why that I got it was because when he was sitting there next to me, because like he took me to the doctor and he sat there, that when the doctor was asking me questions, I kept being like, David, what should I get? What should I say? David, what should I say? And that's basically what me and David agreed on. And then I did actually go to the little like the therapist and I talked to them about it, but they never like said, in my recollection, they never said like, you have this exact thing. I do think like, I know I have ADHD and probably like a whole lot of it. But I think I also have a bit of the autism along with the ADHD. So I'm kind of like, I think the reason why they did it was because I'm just so, like, I need like a little bit of assistance to know what I'm supposed to be doing next. So I'd be like, what's next? And then the person says, do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then they say, what's next? And I go, oh, okay, great. And if someone just leaves me alone in there, I just go like, oh, like, okay.
You mentioned that you obtained your GED. Have you since then tried to go back to school, trade school, college?
I would have really liked to have been able to do that.
But you have not.
Sadly, no, because I was way too busy making sure that everything was upkeep and whatever. And David's been kicking butt. Like we were a good team. Like he got promotion after promotion after promotion after promotion because really the only thing he's got to worry about is just the job. And he is not a clean person. David is not a person who goes like.
Did you and Mr. Piner ever sit down and talk about splitting up chores? Because you shared with the jury how you felt responsible for most things around the house. Did you two ever talk about, well, why don't you do the floors, he'll do the counters?
I wish he would have done something because I would have been able to be a little bit better with keeping, but like I had to do like all of his stuff and it wound up getting to a place where.
But did you ever engage him, Mr. Piner, saying, could you do this? Or did you simply?
Yeah, I even begged and said like, I need some help. I really honestly need some help.
And what was his response?
Nah, I'm too busy. And really, yeah, I mean, there were times where he was like working from home and the only thing he really did in a day was just do a meeting. But just because he did bring in the money, there was no reason for him to do anything. He would just play on the computer and be like, you either do it or it doesn't get done and you need to go do it. And yes, I wish I could have done it, but as a small little dude like I was, and I hardly even got food a lot of times because he would want me to get food for him. But he would yell at me and go wild if I wind up spending food for some reason on myself. He'd be like, what in the world are you doing that? And so I wound up kind of just learning, like, it's okay. Like, I'll just go get food for him. It's no problem. And then we'll save money. And I kind of just kept going out and I would just like run off of a iced coffee from McDonald's for 99¢. I would get a 99¢ coffee every single day from McDonald's. And I would just go and I'd get him the Taco Mac and I'd go and get him the Wendy's, whichever. And I actually wouldn't even be able to get the fries out of the Wendy's thing because he would say, did you eat some of my fries? And I'd be like, well, at the beginning, I was like, yeah, I did. And he was like, that's not enough. Like, what are you doing? You can't be doing that.
There was some reference earlier in the trial about conversion therapy. Do you know what that is? And if so, is that something you participated in?
Okay, that is just like the way that was described was so silly. Okay, so I went to this place that was actually called a Sozo therapy session, and I did not name my dog after it. I just was so blown away that the dog name that I named my puppy dog was actually part of the therapy session, and I was actually invited by my church. And I went to church a lot. I went like church like I just loved hanging out with the people there.
But the therapy that you went to at the Sozo clinic. Yes. Was it conversion therapy?
So I don't believe it was not ever mentioned to me like that. But what happened was when I went in there, they had somebody writing on a piece of paper and they also had conversation with me. And it seems like since they knew there was a person that knew I was like a homosexual person, whoever was writing the stuff on the thing was writing like stuff that sounded sort of like they weren't necessarily all that interested in homosexuality all that much. But the thing is that the people that was there at that moment, the way they talked to me, I mean, I was talking about being like in a cradle with God at the helm, pushing me. And I told him that, I would be okay doing anything as long as I'm with the Lord, even if I was having to go out into the forest or whatever, and I was having to leave David or whichever. And they were crying and they were saying, no, you don't have to. Like where you're at right now with God, the fact that you believe that God loves you, even right now where you are, like you're good, you're golden. Like you're totally fine. Like you're making all of us cry. But there was this sheet of paper, which I took home and I never even read it. Basically, they told me, don't worry about that paper.
Did anything about the paper or the session you had at the Sozo clinic result in conflict between you and Mr. Piner?
Yeah. So this was my like therapy session paper anyways. It was like, it was not supposed to be for David to read to begin with. And I just like put it somewhere. And then all of a sudden David came up to me with this thing and he was like, this means you're not gay. And I was like, no. I am gay. No, I went there and now I believe God is okay 100%. Like you don't have any, no more worries because I'm in the stroller and God's got me. And I feel like everybody was crying. But I literally told David, I said, I don't want to talk about that piece of paper at all. Because that piece of paper didn't matter. And he said, that was God's handwriting. God wrote that. It wasn't the people, God did. And so this is required now. And I was like, no, like, you don't understand. This is my therapy thing. Like, that's not really, like, I'm telling you, this does not matter. Like, I never
Speaking
have read it.
of therapy, did you and
I
Miss,
haven't ever read it still today.
okay,
Still to this day. Yeah, I don't.
me neither. Did you and Mr. Piner ever talk about getting relationship counseling when you were having struggles?
I would love to have had that.
But did you?
Why did we not?
But you didn't.
Yes,
Okay.
sadly. Like I wish we would have had like a marriage counseling, some kind of something to where we could like get on the right page, because you would think you would do that before putting me through all the stuff that he put me through.
You've described to the jury how you felt Mr. Piner was in a dangerous relationship with, I think her name was Crystal, the girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
Why did you travel to Indiana thinking that as a 16-year-old, I think you were 16 at the time, you could have some impact on two adults in a relationship?
Well, like what we talked about was that like, that this was a way that like Crystal wouldn't be able to do anything if I was there. She was like on the little game with him sometimes, and we would talk and stuff like that. And, you know, it was just this idea of like, if you're there, she won't kill me and I can leave. But if you're not there, I can't leave. And I have to find somebody to move in so that way she won't kill me. And as a kid, and I mean, and he explained some crazy stuff. Like she would like throw the computer at him and bust his head open and do all these things. And honestly, whenever I met her.
Did you see any of that happen?
You see, that's the thing. Absolutely not. So whenever I met her even, I was blown away because I did not expect her to be in the car with David, all excited about like going to Longhorn. Like she was like, whoa, David, we get to go out of the house. And I was like, this is their abusive partner woman? You know, I was very confused because she was like super excited. She was walking around. He was telling me, go hang out with her, like go like have fun and stuff. And I'm like, but I mean, isn't she supposed to be like this crazy person that's like gonna kill you? Like, what is going on? And I even told him, because we were drinking, and I wound up kind of saying, you know, I think maybe y'all maybe we can like work it out to where y'all might be good for each other. Who knows? You know, like maybe y'all would be cool. But no, he can't stand Crystal. He doesn't want to do that. No, you know, he needs to get out of this.
Did
And, I
Mr.
mean,
Piner ever show you any proof of the type of abuse he described he received at Crystal's hands? I know he gave you words, hey, she did this, she did that. Sounds like you didn't see any of it. Did he ever provide you any evidence? Here's a picture, or here's a video, or look, there's my computer monitor stuck in the wall where she threw it.
Yeah, no, I don't believe that I ever saw any kind of like any kind of thing that would like if he did show it to me, which I don't think he did, but if he did, you know, I was just like, you know, whoa, oh my gosh. But I can't remember him actually showing me anything that made me, I super duper believed him. And I remember even when I did, I was like, gosh, this woman is so inhuman. Like she's like not even like it's like she's almost like she's like a monster. And I was at my dad's house, like this woman is a monster. Like she is horrible.
But you're saying that based on how he described her, not how you encountered her when you met her.
Whenever I encountered her, she was this goofball, little goofy thing that was super excited. She was like, whoa, Poppy. You know, she was sitting there like, she was just, I was like, hey, like, I just felt so weird. I was like, this is the person who's like the biggest monster in the world.
When did you let Mr. Piner know how old you were?
It wound up being whenever we were online.
Before you moved to Indiana,
Yes. Mhm.
he knew you were 16.
Sure did, because I wound up being at the, it was the like my school day was from 8 o'clock a.m. or whatever, all the way to 3 p.m. every single day. He knows I don't have a job. The conversations we would have on the phone as well. It was obvious that I was hanging out with like school people. I was wanting to figure out what to do with the kid across the road from me. It was very obvious. It's not like the whole time it was all about that, but it was very like, you know.
Okay. You may recall some testimony yesterday about Grindr.
Okay.
Were you a user of the Grindr app?
So in terms of the amount of time I had to really hang out with friends, and I know that he talked about friends on Grindr, and this is one thing that I don't know if, because he has before many times and brought friends over, and then when he brings friends, he likes the idea of me doing sexual things with them. So like, especially I went to a party with him one time and I thought there was this guy that his name was like Parks or whoever it was, Parks Nolan or something like that. And I was like, that guy's really cool. And he said, oh, really? Like, you like him? And I was like, yeah, I think he's really cool. And then all of a sudden I get invited to a dinner and there's Parks. And then we wind up going we wind up going to the little, we're at home, and all of a sudden he's kind of leading Parks like, come on, do stuff, do stuff. And he loved it. I mean, he thought it was super duper cool. And
was there an issue that came up ever from your parents when you left Arkansas as, I guess, still a high school student to move to Indiana?
Actually, we wind up doing it right after I had my GED. So as soon as I got my GED, he got the plane ticket.
Okay.
And there was no issue with Dad whatsoever. I had called and I had every single time Dad ever was like, so what's going on? I was like, you don't understand. Like he's super cool. He got me a piano. He got me, he's like helping me out. We're doing so much fun stuff. This is like my real, but I believe that I told my dad at that point, friend, he was very nervous that my dad was going to do something. He consistently was like, is your dad going to like get me, for doing this? And I was just consistently like, no, you don't. I'll let him know. Like everything is fine. And everything was fine. In fact, he wound up being able to go to my Nana's house, and it was just the whole time I was joyous about him. I was like, and I let my family know, like his girlfriend is.
So they were aware of the situation. Your parents were aware of the situation.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of not like when I wound up leaving, I didn't like let them know. I didn't let like my dad know, hey, I'm gonna be going over to David's house or whichever. I said I was gonna go to a friend's house. We're gonna hang out. And then I just wound up calling him like, hey, we're like really having a good time. And Crystal lived in this really nice house, like a 3-bedroom house.
I'm gonna pause you there, but it sounds like you eventually looped your parents in. You were not a missing person. They weren't calling the police to say, where's our son?
Yeah, they weren't.
Okay, all right. Did you mention at some point that you've taken Ambien before? I don't want to mix up medications.
I've taken ADHD meds.
Okay, and that was prescription medication.
Prescription medication, and it was actually, David knows for 100% fact that I only take prescriptions as it's provided on the thing. I do not do more than that. So he even has giggled and made fun of it and like told people online and let them know that it's obvious that is what I do. So the idea that I would abuse my prescription medication, and he even said to a huge amount, like I was prescribed like 20 and then 10, and he was telling people 120. Like that's like so much that I would.
I just wanted, the question was about Ambien, and you have not taken Ambien.
I've not ever taken Ambien.
Okay. Did you and Mr. Piner ever talk about having you basically treated as an employee because you did this work in the household? And it looked like from the resume you two put together, that you were supporting him when it was at 10 Ton Hammer, professionally supporting him. You'd help write things, etc. Was there ever a discussion of, well, you'll be my employee, I'll pay you some, and there'd be some type of formal-ish employer-employee relationship?
Yes, like we had like a business and this like business plan, but for some reason the business thing never really got like it didn't never get to where we really got more than it. Like he wound up bringing this Michael Burgess person, was making a thing, but then Michael Burgess just kind of sort of started becoming like a joke or something. It was like it was a joke. And then he wound up like Michael Burgess just kind of gave it all to him. And he just was like, all right, well, now I got it or whatever. But it was constantly a thing that was like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. But
It ended up not happening.
it never really
Okay.
had a thing. But the amount of work I did was substantial. because
And
I always
you've
helped him
described,
out.
you've described that. It wasn't something that you then distilled into, here's a contract or anything like that.
No, yeah, but it was always like right on the tip of my tongue. It was like right there. You would think it would be happening, but
Okay.
no.
You answered some questions from Mr. Polanco that made it sound a bit like you were suggesting that Mr. Piner was maybe hiding money in this account or that account, and you were able to say some numbers, like, hey, he has this in this account and this in another account. But you also talked to the jury about, I never looked in the accounts, I don't know what's in the accounts. Can you reconcile the two? How would you be in a position to think Mr. Piner has money in account X, but at the same time, you are blissfully unaware of what's in the accounts?
Yeah, okay. So when I was talking about being blissfully unaware, that was way.
Well, those were my words, not yours,
I'm
but
sorry.
that's okay.
But it was like a long time ago, and I kind of learned more and more. And he kind of he was like sending me these pictures on through the phone and stuff about he was like showing me like a little thing like this is the amount of this is 20,000, this is 7,000, 8,000. So it was pretty easy to see it since he sent it to me.
You weren't looking into the account. He was sending you a snapshot,
Yes.
a screenshot.
Mhm.
Okay. Last set of questions. It's only 4, and it's about the cars. The 370Z.
Yeah.
Who was there ever a loan on that?
So when I got it, it was no loan, right? And then whenever we rebought it, which I believe he was the main one on it, I believe I was the co-signer. But when we rebought it, it had a loan on it.
So whose name was on the loan? That's my first question.
So I believe it was David on the front and then me as the undersigner.
And what about the title? Whose name was on the title to the Nissan?
So the title was mine, but then once we sold it, do you get the title still if you've sold it and rebuy it and now it's a loan?
I don't get to answer your questions,
Oh.
but so it sounds like that one's murky. Let's shift to the Prius. Whose name is on the title to the Prius?
That one is just fully dated.
Okay. And is there a note on the Prius?
There's
A loan?
Yeah, there's like a $220, I think he said, car payment.
And the name on the loan is?
David.
Okay.
That one's fully
Got it. Mr. Polanco. Yep, that was it. That was my question.
yeah.
Mr. Polanco, do you have any follow-up for Mr. Terry? Based on what he and I just discussed?
Yeah.
While you're thinking, do you have any follow-up, Ms. Yarber?
No, Judge.
Okay.
No.
No? Okay. Mr. Terry, you can step down. Mr. Polanco, do you have any other witnesses?
No, sir, the defense rests.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have any rebuttal, Ms. Yarber? The evidence in the case is closed. You have heard all the testimony, and the documents that have been admitted will go back with you when you deliberate. You'll get those. So all that's left are closing arguments from the two sides, and then my charge to you, the law that you must apply to whatever facts you find in this case. So we are in the home stretch. We are going to resume tomorrow at 1:00. So you have the morning off. I will not tell your employers that you have the morning off, but if you want to go to work in the morning, you can, and just say, I won't see you in the afternoon. We'll start at 1:00, so you need to have eaten lunch already if you are a lunch eater. Don't come at 1:00 saying, when's the lunch break? But at 1:00, we'll start with whichever side is given the first opening. We'll hear what the lawyers have to say. You'll hear what I have to say, and then you will dive into your deliberations. Okay? Any logistical questions about that? You made a sad face. Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be done tomorrow.
That'll be up to you. You will get the case tomorrow and then you'll begin deliberating and we'll see what happens.
When you were initially questioning travel, blah, 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 I'm leaving town Friday morning.
Okay, well then we will let you leave town Friday morning. We will not interfere. Is that a prepaid personal vacation or for work you're going to Vegas?
I'm not neither. I'm driving to Nashville to meet my sister and my niece.
Okay, all right. Let's cross that bridge if we get to it. All right, but thank you for putting that on our radar. Here's Ms. Hansberry.
It's okay. Gordon's got the message to you.
Okay, you have a message to give to the jurors? I don't get the message. All right, definitely not for me. It's good for you guys. So 1 o'clock tomorrow, come well-rested, re-energized. The lawyers are gonna sum up everything you heard, distill it for you in their different directions, and then you'll get the law and a verdict form and you'll be off and running, okay? Please, no outside research. Now the evidence is closed, so you can't go look anything up. If you don't have enough, you don't have enough, and that goes to the burden of proof. And you'll work through that when you deliberate. Don't talk about the case with other people. And Deputy Gordon, question?
Bus, I don't know the time of the bus. Every Thursday.
Yes, by midday, the shuttle runs only every half hour. So if you are, what are the colors of the lots? Red and yellow? Silver lot. Those lots that you've been parking in for free, and then the shuttle's usually kind of copper colored. Hop on that, but you'll want to catch the 12:30, because if you roll into that lot at 12:45, the next one won't be until 1.
So it runs on a half hour.
Well, I wouldn't like set your watch to this shuttle, but I would get to that parking lot before 12:30 if you want to be here by 1. Okay? Like it might leave at 12:32 and not 12:30, but 12:30-ish, what they call it, top and bottom of the hour, is when it runs in the middle of the day. All right? Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
All right, so jury.
So we're still gonna get you out of here about 5:30. I have 2 quick questions about the jury charge, and then we'll have our official charge conference as close to 1 as I can make it. Mr. Polanco, you had argued for, in your charge and in the answer, 3 grounds for divorce: cruel treatment, habitual intoxication, and force, menace, duress, or fraud in obtaining the marriage.
Withdrew those latter 2.
Good. I don't think there's any evidence of that. Cruel treatment, we got testimony about that. So I'm gonna want to make sure the verdict form reflects irretrievably broken and cruel treatment, and the jury charge will reflect that. There are a few other things we need to talk about in the jury charge. I don't think it's complicated. I think we can have a pretty short charge conference. I need you all here by 1. And we'll do our charge conference then, unless you think it's going to be a long conference, in which case I need you here at 12:30. Ms. Yarber, you good with a 1 o'clock start? Mr. Polanco?
I'm willing to come in early if that'll help take time off for them at 1, and make the rest of the day shorter, but I'm okay with
I agree
either.
to that. Anything to make the rest of tomorrow shorter.
Okay, well, we're done with testimony, so it's just closings. So why don't we aim for 10 to 1? So 12:50 here.
Yes.
Yes.
12:50 here. Have had your lunch already. Have your clients here with you. We'll talk about the charge. I'll have a proposed verdict form. And we'll go from there. Ms. Yarber, as the lawyer for the petitioner, what's your view as to when you do your closing? So you'll just go second? Okay. All right. So Mr. Polanco, you should be ready to go, because that's what we'll start with once we can get all 14 jurors in the courtroom after 1 o'clock.
And what is it, 30 minutes, an hour?
So you'll be thoughtful as to what the jurors want to hear and absorb, but I'll start bugging you if you get close to an hour. I'll stay out of your way before then.
Thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, see everyone. You gonna be able to make your thing,
Oh, push, I'm gonna be about 15 minutes late.
but you'll be there.
It's in Dunwoody, yes, I will be there.
All right, don't get a ticket.
All right, Mr. Terry, let's go.
No, you guys sit tight for a minute. Let them
Okay.
be gone.
Yes, sir.